Travelers on the Omnibus occasionally touches on mature subject matter with mature language. As such, the audience discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Travelers on the Omnibus, a field trip through nerd and pop culture. My name is Ethan Skinner.
I'm James McCarthy.
I'm Brady Davis.
And I'm Walter Cronkite. No, I'm Jody Kite.
Walter, I wasn't expecting you
Nobody is going to understand.
Nobody is. That's why I said it.
Get that.
Walter, this is John F. Kennedy, and I really didn't like the way you announced my death.
You
only like 3 people are going to get that
You
one.
you also sound like Chief Wiggum from Simpsons.
That's because
It's the same-
it's the
yeah.
same voice.
No, it
Yeah.
was the mayor.
Yeah, the mayor too.
The mayor.
It's both stuff done off of JFK.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of the JFK from Clone High. That's all that's coming to
okay.
mind.
Entirely possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gentlemen, this is the last episode of the year.
The season finale. I got to get out of this voice.
Yeah,
Sorry.
please.
Yeah.
Let's
For
not
God's sake.
let's not do that the whole time.
This is the last episode of the year.
Of the year of the season.
Yes.
Season 2 finale.
Season 2 finale.
Very exciting year for all of us.
We really sound wholly excited about it.
Yeah.
We're fucking worn out like every other human being on the goddamn planet.
This is true.
Yeah.
We're waiting for the next bullshit to roll around.
That's what we need
Yeah.
Christmas break for.
I'll
is
start
just
with the
recharge.
bullshit. 1,100 people at Hasbro got fired. Fuck Hasbro.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Fuck Hasbro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Johnny, you don't work here anymore.
Yep, that's capitalism, baby.
We're no longer in late stage capitalism. We're in last stage capitalism.
I mean,
Last stage
you're not
capitalism.
wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah.
Brady,
Oh, okay.
start us off. What's been happening with you?
All right. So since we had a little bit of time between now and the last time we recorded, we were able to have a Lorcana tournament at the shop here, McNarbs. I won. It was a fun little thing. Got a few new packs. Didn't get anything super crazy that I wanted. But it was a fun tournament, and it was nice playing. Nobody showed up that I didn't know that we haven't been playing with every weekend.
Was it nice playing against more than one player at a tournament?
Yeah. Usually the last 2 times I've showed up at a tournament, it's me and another guy, and we both had the same type of deck, which was very fun.
Didn't that happen twice to you at 2 separate events?
Literally, that's what I just said. Yeah, twice.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought you said one. I know the one, but it was
Yeah.
like, okay.
So nobody new showed up that I hadn't played against, or that I haven't been playing against, this whole time. But we also usually play multiplayer of that. It was really fun playing multiplayer for our little Christmas party that we had because both Holder and I played control decks, and we made sure that nobody had any fun.
That's great.
I love that.
That's always
I love it.
amazing.
I love it when I get to play a game and nobody else. Gets to play the same
Yeah.
game.
We gave everybody PTSD.
Anytime I play competitive Magic, I play Control.
There was a deck I had.
And you would like Ruby Amethyst,
Yep.
because that is absolutely control.
There was a deck I had where the main win con was just making everyone concede.
Yeah.
Done that before.
Yeah, other people won, but like it took a very long time, and we went through a lot of stuff because between the board wipes that Holder and I had, it was very like it was pretty fun. But yeah, won that tournament. I'm actually building a Ruby, pretty close to completing my Ruby Amethyst deck.
Nice.
I'm running it more as an aggro than a control, because you can do kind of both now. You used to, if you were doing in the first chapter, if you were doing that, it was just a control deck.
Yeah.
It was get to turn 7 and then don't let the other person play anything.
I like it.
Yeah, it was a very frustrating deck to play against. I didn't like playing against it, but
Good old stacks.
but luckily there's no stacks in Lorcana. It's just I get to do the shit that I want to do. Although they did talk about locations seem pretty interesting. They're kind of like, if you've ever played with the spaceships, the deck building game,
Star Realms?
Star Realms.
You played Star Realms. They're basically bases.
Okay.
Except that you can move characters to those, and sometimes a character there's nothing special that happens with that unless the character says like, hey, if they're at a location, do this. But they give you lore every turn for the location.
Oh, okay.
But they're always attackable. They're never ready. They're always horizontal where they can be attacked.
Okay.
But if they have like one lore pip on them, then every turn at the beginning of your turn, you're going to get lore.
You just get it
from
automatically.
Yeah. So
that's kind of cool.
yeah, it is very, very
You may
interesting.
choose for this character to remain tapped during your upkeep.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be pretty interesting.
You put like an evasive guy in there, and so it like protects it.
That'd be
as far as I know, like bodyguard, like nothing protects them. But there might be cards in this new. We've only seen like a handful of cards from the new set, so I haven't seen anything that like protects them. But from what they've said, they said like the bodyguard and things like that don't protect, like nothing that they have, because everything is creatures. Like
Gotcha.
Like they also have like hit points basically with their willpower,
right?
But there's nothing right now in the game that can heal them, because they always say heal a character, not just anything.
Okay.
I have to imagine at least one color is going to get something that'll allow you to take damage off of those.
Yeah. It's probably going to be amber. Amber is usually the one that heals, but there might also be items and probably sapphire, because sapphire is usually heavy on items that heal and gaining things from healing. So. One of those two colors. There's going to be stuff to like protect them. I'm certain, and there's also going to be stuff to like heal them. It's just nothing in the sets now can heal them.
That said, is that going to be like mid-January or early February?
February, and then end of February the local game stores get it, and then in March the big box stores get it. So we got a little bit of time.
All right.
I think mostly everybody cards are pretty easy to get now. And prices have gone down on singles, which is really good. There's only
some sealed product too.
Yeah. So that's good. The game is finally stabilizing, so I think
thankfully,
so it feels pretty good right now.
I'm happy for that.
Nice.
There's only really a few cards that I still want to get. So yeah, there's that. I also was able to watch all three of. I thought it was going to be 4, but from what I've heard, there's only going to be 3 of them. The Doctor Who specials for in between the 2 seasons, where it's been David Tennant and Catherine Tate. I knew Tate was the last one. I couldn't remember.
Also, Neil Patrick Harris as
Neil Patrick Harris in this last one was very good. That was fun.
I still have to watch those.
They were all pretty good.
Playing a villain from the first Doctor.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah. Yes. They just showed him real quick, and I'm not super familiar with the early stuff, but they did like show like old versions of him.
Oh.
But yeah, that was pretty.
Intriguing.
That was pretty cool. The episodes, all 3 of the episodes were pretty good. It was nice seeing David Tennant and Catherine Tate back together, because I think that they were a very good pair. I think people kind of talk about them less than it's usually like Rose is the one that people talk about with the 10th Doctor. But,
Billy Piper was an excellent choice to lead off the series and to go through with Tennant into the second series with it.
Yeah. And they do some interesting things.
I feel worse for Freema Agyeman, because she's the one who played Martha.
Yeah,
Martha
I feel bad that
Martha
like they
great.
didn't that they didn't like bring her back in towards the end of this last one, because they kind of did a weird thing with regeneration when he regenerated into the next one.
You mean, okay, so spoilers for the Doctor Who specials. The Bi-Generation, where we have the 14th Doctor and the 15th Doctor exist in the same place and time.
Yeah. They split in 2 instead of one just going away and the other one coming back.
Interesting.
But but the 14th just kind of, the one that's David Tennant, he just kind of retires. And he's still like kind of footsing around, but there's 2 TARDISes, there's 2, so but he's just doing stuff for fun. Like they talk about, we just took a trip to Mars real quick, but like they don't do anything like serious. They did bring back and I had to look it up because I wasn't super familiar. They brought back a companion from the 6th and the 7th Doctor. So that was pretty cool at the end. But I think I'm kind of, I will probably, depending on where it's on, where it shows, I'm gonna try and probably watch the newer season. because it does look pretty interesting.
Was it Matt Smith's run or Tennant's run where they got it was 5 or 6 of the companions all together?
That was Tennant.
That was the end of Tennant's run because they got Sarah Jane, Rose, Martha was there.
They brought back all the captain guy who went on to
Jack
have other shit. Jack
Harkness.
They brought back everybody that they pretty much could.
Mickey was there.
Right. That's when you realize, and they realize, and the Doctor realizes for the first time, I guess, ever, is that, if you have everybody here, you can pilot the TARDIS and go wherever and whenever you want to. A specific point in time and a specific place that you want to go. You have to have 6 people piloting into that thing.
Yeah.
I haven't watched them, but when I was told that this particular Bernard Cribbins, who plays I can't remember. I can remember Catherine Tate's name. I can't remember her goddamn character's name. God damn it.
Donna.
Donna Noble. All right. Plays her father, and he was not well. He had passed away before the specials came out, but he was there for a small bit of one.
He's in one scene.
And that was just the notion that he could be a part of that for that. I was
because he shows up in
that.
one scene at the end of the second one and then the beginning of the first, and then he just disappears, and then they're all back together hanging out, and then they're like, oh, where's Grandpa? Oh, he's back there shooting something. I don't know. And you hear a gunshot go off.
Yeah, Wilford Mott.
And I think they had Baker not play the Doctor, but they had Baker on one of the episodes with Tennant, and he was sitting in a museum as
that was the 50th anniversary.
Oh, was it? Okay.
That's so they brought Tennant. It initially was supposed to be 9, 10, and 11. It was, but Christopher Eccleston did not want to go back.
He was like, nope.
Yeah. He has this weird thing where he doesn't revisit things.
But there was also some issues with that were in the background with Russell T Davies and some stuff there. So there is that too. But so instead of that, we had John Hurt as the War Doctor,
right? And
at the very end of the 50th anniversary, you have Matt Smith, the current Doctor, and he's like, "I could be the great creator." Yes, I think you might. And then you turn and it's Tom Baker because famously at the 10th anniversary. When it was the 5 Doctors, every living Doctor, Hartnell was no longer alive, but they brought in another actor, and I can't remember his name.
Right.
But they all of the Doctors got together, except all of Tom Baker's stuff was past footage because towards his end, it was a new showrunner, and they were looking to push new, and he didn't necessarily want to give it up. Some might say, there's arguments that he should have gone a couple years before he did, but he stayed on. I think in part, there's I can't remember the name of this YouTuber. He has a retrospective on nearly every single Doctor Who actor during their times as the Doctor, and one of the things I will actually look this up so I can have it before the end of this. If I break in, that'll be the reason why. But his one on the 4th Doctor. Tom Baker went into acting. He went into a monastic order where he couldn't talk for 3 or 4 years.
Oh, wow.
And then when he came out of that, he eventually became an actor, and then he became Doctor Who.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. I think Baker was the longest running.
He was.
Doctor.
Yes,
yeah.
he was.
It still is. 7 years as the Doctor.
Yeah, and that's in today's that's never gonna be beaten because nobody wants to stay in the role that long.
Now you could argue in time wise because the weird thing about the Tom Baker, I know we don't want to stay on this too long, but the Tom Baker.
Welcome to WhoCast.
Yeah, Whovians, are you out there?
The TARDIS is kind of like an omnibus. Just saying.
Or a sentient woman that has jealousy issues. But
thank you, Neil Gaiman.
So Tom Baker's arcs, most of them, those episodes were 30 minutes long. They were 4 parts of an arc most of the time.
Yeah, that's how a lot of the old ones were. I've watched a few of the arcs, like one from 2 or 3 Doctors.
Right.
So that's how those work.
The boy has found it's Clever Dick Films. That is literally the name of the channel, but he has done retrospectives on. So to put this in perspective, respective on the respective or the
respective on the retrospective.
Right, exactly. It's an hour and 2 minutes long and 22 chapters.
Wow.
So, and let me say this to all YouTube creators that put chapters on their work. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, because I do like to watch it all the way through, but then going back, I want to like be able to find the parts I want to really dig into.
And from what I saw, he doesn't just talk about the doctors, but also like their companions and Q&As and all that.
So that was one thing. The last thing I want to talk about was I saw a movie, and it ended up being one of the best movies that I have seen this year. It actually, my favorite movie of the year has gotten a lot tougher since watching this, and this is Godzilla Minus One.
I still want to see it.
It looks
so good.
So the elevator pitch is a remake of Godzilla, except instead of coming in 1955, he comes in 1947, when most of Japan are still living in shacks because they got firebombed to shit. It's a very interesting contrast to, this is basically just like a period piece, except that there's a giant, lizard in this.
Right.
It's very interesting to contrast this with Shin Godzilla, which before now I was saying like that's my favorite Godzilla film. I think that might, short of the first one, maybe that's the best Godzilla film. And this now it's a lot harder. This is a very like bottom up movie where you're seeing, the people on the ground and how they're dealing with things. The lead character is a failed kamikaze pilot who is dishonored because he came back, and that's not what you're supposed to do when you're a kamikaze pilot. And him kind of rebuilding his life with these other people that he's found. And then Godzilla attacks. And he's also he ended up, if you remember in the original Godzilla, they see, Godzilla in the form that he was in, the smaller form on I believe it's the same thing. Oda Island, wasn't it? In the first one?
I think it's Oda.
It's in this one it is. So he also has a moment there where he could have maybe stopped Godzilla, and he's too afraid to.
Right.
So he's living with a lot of PTSD, and it's a lot of, how do we deal with this? There's really nothing, usually in a Godzilla movie you see like, oh, how's the government react and all this.
Right.
You don't see that shit in this. Like barely, everything that happens is from the ground up. It's the people working together to clean up, or rebuild, or how are we going to take on Godzilla? Okay, we're going to do it, and it's all going to be the people. It's not like the government has shit to do with it. Whereas Shin Godzilla is more of a top down movie. I think Godzilla Minus One, which if you're wondering, the minus one from what I've heard. So because of the devastation post World War II, the reason it's called that is because Japan is basically starting at zero, and then Godzilla comes, and now they're in the negative.
Right.
So
Gotcha.
It's a very there were several moments where I it really hit me, like when you see Godzilla in like his fullness, and he comes around the corner, and they use the old music, the old score from the original Godzilla. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
There's some times where I like held my breath, and like it really, like there's some really good. This is the Godzilla movie where you actually care about the people. You're not just waiting, where's Godzilla? Like when Godzilla shows up, you're like, oh shit. And it's really crazy. They do some crazy stuff. His like, this is like the coolest looking atomic breath that I've ever seen. Like, but you still care. Like this makes you like really true. Like this is the best character work for like the people on the ground. Usually, even in Shin Godzilla, which I love, it's a harder movie to really recommend, because there is a lot of like talking and bureaucracy and everything like this, and it's all about the top down. You hardly ever see in Shin Godzilla, you hardly ever see the people having to deal with Godzilla.
Right.
It's all the people at the top in the government trying to figure out what we have to do. And it's all a metaphor for like the ineffectuality of the Japanese government. And it's really interesting how they both contrast with each other. I really, really still like Shin Godzilla, but I can see people like watching it and be like, oh my God, this is so boring. Because it is a lot of people just sitting around talking because they're figuring out what the hell are we going to do with this thing. But I think you can't say that like the people stuff is boring in this, because it's very interesting. They build relationships with people, like you care about these people, and it's very, very interesting movie. Yeah.
That kind of feels like a little bit like the the American version of Gojira, which is Godzilla 1955 with Raymond Burr.
Raymond Burr was added in.
There's a lot of talking in that, and it works for me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I would definitely recommend it. It's playing pretty much at all the theaters around here. Yeah, it's a really, really good movie. Like I like one of the few things that I heard about it before when I was reading reviews was like the CGI is spotty.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that the CGI was phenomenal. Like this is the best looking CGI Godzilla, and that includes Shin Godzilla. Like some of the CGI in that one is a little bit iffy, but like this one, I had no problems with this.
It's better than Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
In the CGI department.
Yeah,
which is impressive considering their budget.
Yeah. $15 million, but from what I've read, like I haven't really dug deep into it. That's not wholly accurate because of the way that they count movie budgets in Japan.
Gotcha.
But even if you like double and even triple that,
you
like
give them $50 million. That's still like as low budget for a movie of that.
That's
caliber.
for a humongous like movie. That is a lot, and they do a lot with a little.
Yeah,
it is super impressive. But yeah, this is like, you could say it's melodramatic in some spots, but I really like that. I think that this is a very interesting, very good Godzilla. It's not as deep as like something like Shin Godzilla, I think, but it is still like a really, really good movie. Like you really, it like it's got some really awesome parts where he's like, Godzilla's coming and fucking shit up, but then it's also like you really care about the people and you want them to all survive,
right?
Because you've built relationships with them through it. Like it's put in the work, and it doesn't ever feel. I never looked at my phone in the theater,
right?
And that's not something like, usually I will look at my phone at least once,
right?
I never did that, while watching this. So I think that's pretty impressive as well. Like, yeah, definitely. If you get a chance, go out and watch it, because it is very, very, very good. Yeah.
Nice.
That's me.
Jody, let's head over to you.
All right, so I'm going to start with a YouTube video I watched, and so we were talking about, I don't know if we talked on mic about it or not, probably not, but the Jay mentioned the H-Bomber guy.
Mm-hmm.
So recently he had a video on stuff being plagiarized.
Plagiarism, yeah.
Plagiarism.
One of my favorite titles of it's Plagiarism and You.
Yeah.
Parentheses, tube.
So check that out. That's not what I'm going to talk about. So Philosophy Tube.
Yeah. That's a 4-hour video.
Yeah, it is.
Mentioned before, but yeah. Go for it.
So Philosophy Tube came out with a video the other day. Jay, I don't know. I think you follow her, right?
Yeah.
Philosophy Tube.
I watch Philosophy Tube.
She had a video recently. Hers is an hour long.
Which is short for her, to be honest.
So she didn't go, and you need to watch the whole thing to get all the details or whatever. Of course, she had to leave a lot of details out. So her work that she talks about, she's been plagiarized, and not by a YouTuber.
Yeah.
So she was working on a project with somebody. It was a movie project. And she wrote a good portion of the script, not even like parts of it that she was going to actually perform in the movie. And then when production was about to start, they said, your services are no longer needed. And she didn't get paid. And they kept some of her work in the script and didn't credit her for it on top of that. So, and there's a lot of other stuff going on there too. So you should watch that video, Philosophy Tube. It's good stuff. It's her last video.
Hold on. Let's say it. Her most recent video.
Her latest.
Her latest video.
Her latest.
We don't want to call it her last video.
No.
No jinx. No jinx.
No.
Yeah.
She usually puts out a video every month, but hers are usually like really. She does essays.
Yeah.
So and like she referenced like 12 books. She's like, so when I found out about this, I read this book by this person, and
Yeah.
you know, I like that. There's all of her sources are counted for.
Yeah.
So I was trying to find something to watch the other day because of Black Friday. I have multiple streaming services now because again Hulu was $12 a month for a year and HBO was $3 a month for 6 months or whatever. And so I was trying to go through Max and I was trying to like find stuff on Max and I'm like, most of the stuff on Max I don't right now. I'm waiting for the Barbie movie's about to drop there in a couple of days. So so I ended up going back to Netflix because the odd thing is right now, so you know the movie that the last Batman movie that came out, The Batman.
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Yep. That's on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's also on Max.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a couple of crossover DC titles that are on both platforms.
I saw that.
And for Max, I have it with commercials. So why would I watch it? You know. So I watched the first 2 seasons of Trailer Park Boys because I'd never watched that show before.
Okay.
And I don't know if you gentlemen are aware of what that show is.
Know about it.
I've heard about it. I've never seen it.
Canadian comedy
Yeah.
is hit or miss with me.
Gotcha.
I am okay with Letterkenny. Trailer Park Boys never got me.
Right.
Letterkenny I have seen before.
Though I will say Randy from the Trailer Park Boys has been a featured guest at the Gathering of the Juggalos.
Oh.
At a event known as Randy's Cheeseburger Picnic.
Well, the character does like walk around with no shirt on.
That
so.
makes
all the
sense.
time.
And you.
Yeah.
So
That is the absolute last place I would ever have a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Is the Gathering of the Juggalos.
You know what I would also not want to have at the Gathering of the Juggalos? I would not like to watch Morris Day in the Time, but they have played the Gathering of the Juggalos.
Yeah.
So I watched a Dario Argento movie.
Oh.
It's called The Gathering of the Juggalos.
No.
The Gathering of the Juggalos.
I would like to see Dario Argento's Gathering of the Juggalos. I think that could be an Oscar winner.
So yet again, we have another. I'm always going to mispronounce this, but another Giallo. Giallo. Which is a murder mystery kind of thing. You know, in this movie, it's called Phenomenon.
Okay. Yeah.
Or Phenomena. So this has a right before Labyrinth, Jennifer Connelly. So she's like 14 or something or whatever. The killer in this movie, every time that he's about to kill somebody, you get to see him put the spear together, like just the cuts of him like screwing this like a weapon together. Then someone's about to die. Do you remember in Suspiria where the chick went through the glass? This happens almost every time somebody dies. Like he loves that shot.
Damn.
Like there's a scene, one of the first girls that dies in this movie, her head goes through a window pane, and then it just comes off and like falls in the river. Donald Pleasance in this movie as well. And of course he plays a really strange like scientist kind of character or whatnot.
Of course.
And it's never explained. But for some reason, Jennifer Connelly in this movie has the ability to soothe and control insects. Now, wait for it.
Sure.
And so of course, Donald Pleasance is an etymologist, and so there's bugs everywhere. And
what a coincidence.
He's like, she comes into this room and he's sitting here petting like one of the spraying cockroaches, and he goes, "Don't pick it up. It's poisonous." And she just picks it up and starts playing with it. She's like, "Oh, they love me." And he's like, "You must have telepathic powers because insects are drawn to people with telepathic powers."
Sure.
Now that might not sell you on the movie.
I want to bring something up real quick.
Okay.
The name of the movie is Phenomena. However, it has an alternate title.
Yeah.
Creepers.
Yeah.
It will make your skin crawl.
Yeah.
Also, can I ask you, which service did you watch this on?
AMC Plus
Okay, because you could have watched it for free.
on Pluto TV.
No, sir. I mean, that is true.
Yeah.
But the number one preferred streaming service of the
Tubi.
Omnibus, Tubi.
Yeah.
It's free on Tubi.
It's
Yeah.
free. It's free with commercials on Pluto.
Tubi, if you ever just want to reach out to us.
Yeah. Not that you need our help. So she also sleepwalks.
Mm-hmm.
But what really got me into the movie was I was watching this girl like wander around in the woods, and she walks into this is not Jennifer Connelly. She walks into a house, and then all of a sudden the music video hits.
Okay.
There's these metal scores that are like fucking death metal that happen throughout this whole movie. Nothing will be going on. There'll be like some meandering about insects or whatever, and then all of a sudden metal score happens. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching right now?
Music by Iron Maiden and Motorhead.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
like if you've watched enough Italian horror movies, like I'm a big fan of Lucio Fulci, but I know that there are certain like things that he likes doing multiple times in different movies. There's only one movie where spiders eat somebody's face off, but there are some shots that he does a lot.
Yeah.
This movie, not as good, reminded me so much of Suspiria minus the Technicolor, because it was like all dark. It was like at nighttime. It was raining most of the time. Whatever was happening with the script was whatever was happening with the script. However, the non-metal score was, of course, Goblin, and he, like always, nailed it. The Goblin score was fucking great. Goblin did a lot of Italian horror movie scores.
Well, and specifically the best one, Suspiria.
He did Suspiria, he did Argento, and he did Fulci as well. Man, it just goes to show you, like, both of those guys are hit or miss, really.
Yeah.
Like, Fulci has, like, I don't know, like, out of the 12 movies I know that he's done, like, I've seen 10 of them, and only 4 of them are good, and only 2 of them are exceptional. So that's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
That being Gates of Hell, it's got other titles, Gates of Hell and The Beyond. Those are, like, the best 2 Fulci movies. House by the Cemetery is pretty good. It's passable.
Argento's Deep Red would be great if someone would just tell him, please stop playing disco music during your scary parts.
Yeah, yeah, that was an issue with Deep Red.
There is a particular, is so much so I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but if you ever watch Dario Argento's Deep Red, there is a scene that for some reason he felt needed disco music to accentuate the horror, and people have ripped that music out of it, and it is 100 times more frightening and just disturbing.
I'm the only thing I'm picturing is like Earth, Wind, and Fire just playing as someone just like slashing a group of people.
It's either disco music or synths with that guy. Like Demons and Demons 2 were both also like full of synths and disco music as well. But so that's almost all. Fortnite just started the new season.
Okay.
And I got a victory immediately.
Lego Fortnite.
They've added a train.
Okay.
Which is awesome. They've upped the abilities on the mobs, so they've got it like, so it's like Godfather. You have like these different like gang leaders and stuff, you know, these different areas on the map, and
because when I think Fortnite,
you think
you think of the
Yeah.
Godfather.
Yeah.
So you have all these rival gangs and stuff that you can deal with and get special gear if you kill them. But the thing is, like, there's a mob boss, and you kill all of her enemies, and she does like a fucking Final Fantasy thing where once you get her all the way down to 0, she pops back up to full health and then summons 4 more dudes. And like,
okay.
oh man, this is really hard by yourself.
Yeah.
But I did it, though. I also got a Victory Royale, which is, that game is, getting one of those this season is enough most of the time. But, it's been pretty fun. Fuck the OG Fortnite, though. That sucked. I didn't play hardly any of that.
The only thing I take from Fortnite now is just how absurd can they make things. Like they have all these like special guest characters. You can play as Buff Peter Griffin. And there's one like
That's unlockable.
one of the mob bosses is like a Terminator Peter, and then once you kill it, he does like the hold his knee like thing as he like disappears.
Ariana Grande can beat Optimus Prime to death with a pickaxe that is just a giant rubber duck.
Yeah.
That is my answer to all of that.
Yeah.
With Kratos and John Wick dancing in the background.
Yeah.
Also true. Yeah, that's me. That's all I've been up to.
Jay.
I have two things, but one will be pushed to after our what have we been up to. So I had a unique problem that came up in the last 2 weeks. So December 27th is my birthday. It is the annual JMOS event. Initially, and the title still is Table for 3 in Hell, and it was going to be 3 games. It was going to be Rising Sun, Ankh, and of course the main event, Twilight Imperium. And I thought so. I posted the event on Facebook and invited all of the usuals. And I was expecting like to get to 6 people, which is the max for one table of base Twilight Imperium. I was expecting like it was going to take 2 or 3 days. The first hour, I got to 9 people.
Wow.
And that causes a problem because with the expansion, I can get it to 8, but I can't push it to 9.
Right.
And I had other people who are still like, hey, I kind of want to play. I'm like, well, shit, what the fuck am I going to do? Like, because there were people, like long-standing people who have played before, have won before.
Right.
We had people who like this is their first time playing it because of all the hype between just the game and just everybody getting together for JMOS for it. And like, so we had all this stuff going on. I was like, how much is another copy of Twilight Imperium? $140. Purchase. I now have solved a problem that no one else has had in the history of the world, in that I didn't have enough Twilight Imperium. I now have just enough Twilight Imperium because we have a tentative 12th. We're going to have 2 tables of 6 for the largest main event of JMOS ever.
Holy shit.
2 tables. Both of them will be the winner from each table will both be champions of JMOS. They will sign the sword. I have speaking of Minecraft real quick, we have a Minecraft Diamonds foam sword that every year the winner has won it. They sign the sword. They will both get their signature on the sword, but only one person can hold it. And so then I was like, what game or what thing can I do for a tiebreaker for this that you can't really prepare for, but you can maybe prepare for it, because there's no literal board game, anything that you can sit down to and like, you know, and if you surprise somebody with it, one person may be exceptional at it.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the one thing? And then my Vampire the Masquerade LARPing days kicked in.
Oh yeah.
The winner of these games, which last year, just one table of it went 15 hours.
Right.
Yes.
The games will be played concurrently.
Right.
But say just 10 hours. You've played 10 hours of the most stamina-ripping, strategy-destroying game that you're probably going to ever play. How do you settle it when 2 people come out on top on that? A first to 5 points rock, paper, scissors challenge. That's right.
Yeah.
You have to win 5 rock, paper, scissors to win the title of championess of JMOS.
Yeah, because I mean, after like 12 hours, your brain's gonna be goo anyway.
Because I didn't want it to sit at, we have 2 champions, and no, there has to be one.
One definitive.
But at the same time, I want to recognize the fact that in order to get to that point, you had to beat 5 other people at a game that took 10 hours. There has to be some sort of recognition for that.
Right.
So that's why there are 2 champions, but one is championess.
Right.
And I now own 2 copies of Twilight
Jesus
Imperium.
Christ.
Yeah, when you said you had acquired a second copy, I did not think that you went out and bought it yourself.
Yeah, I bought
I
it
assumed
myself.
you were gonna just run from the last edition that you had, maybe a copy of the last edition of the game.
No, that 3rd edition went as a present one Christmas to the first champion of JMOS, Logan Stotler. The first ever champion of JMOS was Logan Stotler. And once I got 4th, let me say this. If you have 4th edition, there's no need to have 3rd edition.
No.
There's also, for 99.99% of the world,
reason to have
there's no
2
reason to have 2 copies. There are 2 entities that need that. One is me, and the other one is the Fantasy Flight Supply Warehouse. That's the only one that needs more than 1 copy of Twilight Imperium.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I've been doing. But I will be back here momentarily with some cool info.
I wanted to mention one thing real quick. It's not what I've been doing, but so me and a friend of mine, we went over to Ollie's, which is like a discount place.
Yeah.
Much like Big Lots, which actually explains why Big Lots sucks now because Ollie's has all the stuff.
Yeah.
And they have a D&D board game. I can't remember what it's called. It's normally $100. I looked it up online. They have it for $10.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
They have it for $10. They had 25 copies. And when I bought my copy, a lady said, some guy came in here and bought 8. I went, that's probably a guy who owns a game store nearby. You know, either Panda's Paradise or somebody like that.
Or has an eBay store and found something quick and easy.
Yeah, Ollie's is good. They have they had at least the one that was on Pass Road in Gulfport has a really good graphic novel selection.
Dude, they had a lot of at this one too.
Yeah.
They had. I think I picked up issue 4 of the Fables graphic novel for $4.
Where is this now?
It's in Gulfport. It's off of 40. It's not off of 49.
It's right on Pass Road. Where Calvin Lorraine and Pass Road meet, it's right there. It used to be the old Kmart there.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Google it. It's not too bad.
All right.
But they have a lot of shit there. Like the toy section was ridiculous. Like if you want some Grand Moff Tarkins, they've got them for you.
Yeah, they also have like I never found anything that I really wanted, but they do have like a lot of board games there.
They have
too.
a couple of board games.
And it's not just like, big box store stuff. It's it's decent stuff. It's just nothing that I saw was like anything that like I was really wanting or anything like that. I was also there last time I was there. I also got some dried watermelon. It wasn't very good.
Yeah.
That's like one of my
too
favorite.
sticky.
That's one of my favorite dried fruits.
They had
it probably just that it's in the packaging. Like it just wasn't. It was too sticky. Like
they had the remember the D&D animated series figures they had.
Yeah.
They had those for like $8. They had all of them but the wizard. Otherwise, I would have gotten a set of them.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Nice.
They had only the pink Power Ranger, I think. Maybe it was the pink one.
Ollie's, hit us up.
Yeah, Ollie's.
Yes.
Ollie's and Tubi.
Yeah.
Ethan, what you been up to?
I got around to, I had some spare time, so I booted up Super Mario RPG again. Did a little bit of some grinding, and I just had a brain fart.
Wow.
Like my train of thought just went out.
You needed a moment.
I needed a moment, yes.
Are you stroking?
Not anymore. I had my moment. And
all right, there we go. You are too young for a senior moment. Legitimately.
Back to your RPG.
I heard that as Casey Kasem. And now back to your RPG.
I defeated
Nobody's going to get that
Culex.
reference.
I defeated Culex, the guy that's hidden behind the black door in Monstero Town. And,
Nice.
I used probably like 8 rock candies. And it still didn't do anything. So I just Geno flared the shit out of everything.
You should take on what's behind the green door.
The guys from the VHS bound footage group that have VCR Party Live watched an episode of Scooby Doo, and then they listened to a clip of Casey Kasem outtakes where he was doing the top 40, and he was like. And now a dedication to something, something, something. It was like a funeral dedication to a dog.
Oh,
and then
Jesus.
he had to do a fluff piece, and you hear him just say "God damn it" like 5 times in a row. He's like, "Can I get a goddamn producer out here so I don't have to do like a fluff piece immediately after our motherfucking like dog just died? Can I get a helping hand here?" Just to hear a radio personality go off like that is fucking great.
Jesus.
For some reason in my brain, I remember that he had to go from that dedication, and now here's Motley Crue's "Too Fast for Love." I'm like, what the fuck?
Casey Kasem was also the voice of Shaggy in the old Scooby-Doo
and
cartoons.
Robin in some of the Batman.
the old Batman.
And the Super
and
Friends.
Super Friends.
Friends,
Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, I defeated Culex. And
He
so
also fought Bob Ross to the death.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Repeat that again.
Casey Kasem allegedly fought Bob Ross to the death.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Gotcha. Allegedly.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, cool.
Now back to our top 40. Ethan,
They were
continue.
They were both in Vietnam. Bob Ross killed Willem Dafoe, and then Casey Casey Kasem found him after the Viet Cong attacked, and is like, go ahead and do it, and he shot him.
Did you know that Bob Ross shot motherfuckers in Nam?
Yeah.
Yes.
That might have actually been the plot to Platoon.
I think you're right there. I think that's the right one.
But I don't.
That's probably true.
Yeah. So watch Platoon starring Bob Ross and Casey Kasem and Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
Or just watch Platoon.
That's exactly who's in that movie.
Okay. Besides playing Super Mario RPG.
Oh, you had other stuff. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, I have my thing. We're gonna go back to your thing, and then we'll go through the rigmarole.
But our thing is interrupting your thing every time you have a thing.
So now I'm gonna get to the thing that I wanted to talk about. The Game Awards happened last week.
Yeah, they did.
And so a couple of things. Baldur's Gate 3 won Game of the Year.
No
surprise.
Game direction, Alan Wake 2.
Not surprised.
Narrative, also Alan Wake 2. Best art direction, Alan Wake 2. One of the ones I was really surprised about was the best fighting game of the year, which I had it chalked up to either Mortal Kombat 1 or Street Fighter 6.
I thought it was going to be Street Fighter 6.
I believe it was Street Fighter 6.
Yes, I'm pretty certain Street
Fighter came, but I like Mortal Kombat 1's story, but there were glaring bugs in the initial build of that, that actually went against the second player, to the point where the same combos. It wasn't even about left side, right side of the screen.
Right.
The first player could complete combos that the guy on the player 2 could not do.
Right.
Yeah, that's not good for a competitive fighting
I
game.
believe they have fixed those.
Right.
Mortal
Kombat
1 for the Nintendo Switch before the bug fixes.
That's even after the bug fix. The Nintendo Switch cannot, just like Nintendo forever, certain AAA games just don't run the same on Nintendo systems. They just don't.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever play fucking Black Ops 1 on the Wii?
Oh,
I had a friend that
sounds awful, but yes, I do know that game.
I did, however, play
with
Black
the remote.
I played Black Ops 2 on the Wii U.
Yeah.
That is the best version of that game.
That is a really good version of the game.
Because one of the things I like about when you get your kill streak, and one of them is like to plot this thing's course. Yeah. You go on the touch screen, you go tap, 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 and then you're back in the game rather than having to controller. I love it.
But any AAA game that was on the Wii was garbage. Most of them, like Madden, was awful.
Yeah,
they were fucking trash.
Hot take. Well, all Maddens have been awful for the last decade.
I would say the last 20 years, but that's me.
20 would put it. Oh no, wait, 2003, 4. That's
the ones in the early 2000s were actually pretty good.
Yeah, they early to mid 2000s.
Those are ones that I've actually played.
That's what I'm saying. 20. It's been almost around 20 years because that was around the time when it started getting.
Let's meet in the middle. Call it 15 years.
Yeah,
sure.
I'll say 15.
Sure, 15's fine.
2008. Barack Obama takes the White House. And
really, when they started. Only when they had the license themselves and nobody else had the license.
Right.
That's when they really started we could just do whatever because people are just gonna buy this because they want the new roster.
Yep.
Besides, along with the Game Awards, they also made a lot of new announcements.
That's the Game Awards. They don't. I think they end up giving an hour to the actual stuff of. Giving out awards and they constantly rush the developers off and everything like that.
So Keiji Aonuma, because Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, my apologies, won something and they played him off.
They played several people off.
Not for that. If they had done that, I think they even did it kind of to the Baldur's Gate 3 crew. Who won the whole fucking thing, and they got their stuff in, but the band was queuing up. It's what the fuck?
Yeah, there were some of them where they were just like, "Hey, I can't say anymore because they're telling me that I need to wrap this up."
Yeah.
So yeah,
they had the screen cards for hurry up. While they're giving their winner's speech.
Yeah.
So that way they
can give them any time at all. Yeah.
So that way they can give Kojima 10 plus minutes on his announcements with Jordan Peele for OD.
Yeah.
Which that's probably going to be absolutely terrifying when that comes out.
More than likely.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see.
It's going to be weird, that's for sure.
Hopefully, it won't be a walking simulator.
I was and still am disappointed with Death Stranding.
I've heard some people like the game. Those aren't my kind of games anyway.
I will gladly accept that game is an acquired taste, and I don't have the taste for it.
Right.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that one. If that is your cup of tea, you have a different set of thinking from me.
Right.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think Kojima's ever made a game that I've liked, that I've wanted to play. It's just he doesn't make games that are my kind of games. So
a lot of people are speculating that Kojima and Peele, they're gonna restart the idea of the PT demo.
PT demo.
Whenever it first came out.
Good luck. Good
Yeah.
luck with that. That's what everybody thought Death Stranding was going to be.
yeah,
And boy, were
if
we
Guillermo
wrong.
del Toro couldn't do it, then
Boy, were we wrong.
Yeah. That's me. Jay, hitting the ball back over to
All
you.
right, so ladies and gentlemen, this is our season finale. So I would like to bring up some of the accomplishments this year, thanks to our Spotify Wrapped review, and I just found this interesting this year and all the stuff, and just kind of look back. Now this will be from late November. These numbers will be a little bit skewed because we had a couple of episodes come after that. But all right, let's get this started. First off. The number one episode for the season for us, as far as viewership goes, was season 2, episode 28. Sell Me On It, volume 1. Shout out to Brady Davis for that excellent idea. That got a lot of people at the very least listening to this. All right, of that episode was streamed 249% more than our average episodes are. More people went to that one than any of our other stuff.
Alrighty.
So. Again, that was really a hot thing for us. I really like that. Again, I think it was a great idea and it paid it off. 62% of the people listening to this podcast discovered us this year. So more people discovered us this year than in the year past.
Gotcha.
So I'm very happy about that.
That's good.
As far as countries, we were streamed in 6 countries. The United States was on top. So yeah, America. There we go. But we picked up some, I believe, in Mexico. We finally got into Quebec. Quebec showed up. I'm saying that separately from Canada because I know Quebec wants to be its own nation.
Let's go Quebec.
One day, let's go Quebec. Listeners of our podcast listen to these 3 genres: leisure, TV and film, and comedy. That's the 3 things there. So if you like those, you may come towards us. As far as music genres for the people who listen to us: pop, rock, rap, in that order, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Again,
I see it.
Seems kind of very similar. Your listeners definitely told their friends about you. So hang on, this might be a big thing. The podcast was shared 92% of the time via direct link. I think a lot of that was just us getting it out to our friends, but then other friends getting it out to their friends.
Right.
Thank you, friends. We, as always, we greatly appreciate you. The most shared episode of the season. This one is another point and another flower in the bonnet of one Brady Davis. Season 2, episode 34, The Omnibus Plays City of Mist, Part 3.
Okay.
Which was the penultimate before the actual finale of that. So that was a pretty good one. Right now, and Eventually, I want to see this drop, and it's going to be weird. Our podcast rating is a 5.0 out of a perfect 5.0. Everybody who's done reviews for us has given us all of the stars. So I appreciate that. But I think someone's got to give us a 3 one day. I don't ever want a 1, but at least want a 3 because, there we go. We have 43 published polls, 12 of which have received votes. The most are Dapper Ethan versus Flipper Ethan.
Yes.
That one's still going on, going to the end of the year, folks.
Okay.
We're going to see what's going on there, but that was the most voted
Share
on
it with
poll.
your friends.
Spotify is asking me if I'm a gardener, and it's like, why? But because your podcast saw some nice growth this year. We 45% more listeners, 62% more followers, 48% more minutes created, which that one was a crazy one for me because I think the number last year as far as minutes goes was somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,000. So we added an additional 48% minutes on top of that, which is almost another 1,500 minutes of programming.
Kind of glad we gave up on trying to cap ourselves on a skewed time, stamp kind of thing.
There you go. But yeah, we are a top podcast for 22 of our fans.
Nice.
Alrighty.
A top 5 podcast for 19 of our fans.
Oh, even better.
Nice.
And, drum roll please. Okay, drum roll please, Spotify. God damn it. We're the number 1 podcast for 9 of our fans. So for you 9, You are the omnibusist. I was thinking about calling it
Censored.
I really think that's never going to happen.
Nope.
And so I apologize.
You can cut that. You can just cut that right there.
So, yeah, on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Censored.
All right, there we go.
There you go.
Good stuff. Top fans listen to us 1.9 times more than our other listeners. So you listen to us almost double the amount of other listeners.
Awesome.
Your loyalty is greatly appreciated. We thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Again, much appreciated to everyone that listens.
66% joined us for the first time this year. So that's really cool. Like we've had more new people this year than we've had in the past year.
I love it.
So really happy about this. Gentlemen, ladies, and all genders in between, above, beyond, below, and however you want to put it. Thank you very much for this wonderful year. We have just a little bit this second half coming up, but for everything that has come before and this little bit that we have left after, thank you. We greatly appreciate you. Thanks for staying on the bus. Thanks for being our passengers. We love you.
Love you. 3,000.
Thank you, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Did we have any feedback?
Absolutely no feedback.
No
Yes.
feedback. Okay.
However, if you want to let the emails pile up during the winter break, travelers on the omnibus at gmail.com. Again, travelers, 1L on the omnibus at gmail.com. Jody, where else can they get in touch with us?
You can find us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Google Play, Music.
I don't fucking know.
.com.
It's still podcasts for me, but that could change at any day.
Right.
So podcasts now, but in the future, YouTube Music.
And I think that was it, right? Amazon, Apple, Google/YouTube Music, and Spotify.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's GASA.
Sure.
That's Georgia Aeronautics and Space Administration.
Also, if you want to get in contact with us directly, if you don't feel like emailing, you can directly message us on Spotify and take part in any polls, like the one Jay just mentioned about Ethan possibly being a dolphin during his wedding.
There you go. I like the notion of GASA, Georgia Aeronautics and Space Administration. They probably use all of the...
Censored.
There we go. I had to get one more in there. I had to.
For our main topic this evening, morning, night, or whenever you're listening to us, we decided that to bring the entire
I hope
year...
you're watching it at dusk.
Yes, you're watching at dusk.
Yes.
Or dawn.
Watch us in the golden hour.
Watch us in the blackest of night.
Yes.
That could have been a really dirty Dr. Seuss. Watch us in the golden hour. Watch us in a golden shower. No. No.
Jesus Christ.
To bring...
I will not, won't not.
I won't watch you in the golden shower. To bring the season to a close, to bring one thing that Brady introduced.
To bring balance to the force.
I don't think I introduced this. I think Jody introduced
Jody
this.
introduced this.
Oh, it was
Jody
Jody.
was the first.
Yes.
Of these.
Apologies, Jody. What Jody introduced.
Yeah.
I can't take credit for everything.
Like, to someone your age, Jody and Brady are the same person.
I mean,
God damn.
Every episode, you're just seeing double all the time.
One of them
way
is
older.
One of them is Jody, and one of them is just JL Kite. That's it. They're two separate entities.
He's not coming in for this. I'll tell you that
Brady,
right now.
you've been side graded to jail kite.
I didn't say which one, but
okay. I was gonna be nicer on this, but I think maybe I'm not.
Where's the old notes from that one episode?
Yeah, let me go get them.
Yeah, get the shine down notes.
I'll find those and we'll break those out when we come back.
In case of shine down, break glass. One of our most recurring bits, Bob Shinedown.
Bob Shinedown, yes.
I just put it up on the wall like the fucking 48 thesis, and just whenever I need them.
The 98.
98. It's 98. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's in a glass container.
I don't think you would give a shit about that. You're Catholic.
That's 98 personal insults to me.
Oh, we have already derailed. This is.
The final.
What if we just talk about random shit after promising that we would?
I had to listen to these albums.
No, we're talking about these goddamn albums. We all had to listen to them. We are bound and fucking determined. We are going to do this fucking episode.
I don't know if that was relief or exasperation.
Yes.
Porque no los dos.
Yeah.
The final master mixtape I have
of this year.
Of this year.
I have selected 3 albums for all of us to listen to, and this is going to be our honest reviews about them and how we feel about them.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I went about picking my albums was, growing up, I had 2 main influences in what type of music I like listening to the most. Both of them being my dad and my older brother.
Mm-hmm.
So going with my dad, he likes all of he likes older rock bands, like heavy metal, new metal, new rock, and growing up, I remember he had the touch screen radio connected to his phone, playing his Apple Music, and I always saw this album for Isolate and Medicate by Seether, and it's one that I kind of like. I remember the most listening to with him, just like long car rides from like family trips, just looking at the album, listening to the music from it, and so this is the one that I chose for my dad. I enjoy a lot of Seether songs, a lot of the older ones, because Isolate and Medicate came out in 2014. 10 songs, 38 minutes. It's a lot shorter. It's a lot shorter than I was expecting it to be. I wasn't expecting it to be like 40 minutes as opposed to like the hour 10-minute albums that we've listened to in the past.
It felt like it was about an hour and 10 minutes.
No, it wasn't that bad.
There's the first gunshot. The boat's gonna get bracketed real quick. The Bismarck will be sunk. The Bismarck will be sunk. Seether's Isolate and Medicate.
So yeah, first one, it opens with "See You at the Bottom," followed by "Same Damn Life," "Words as Weapons," "My Disaster." A lot of the songs on here I like throughout. Is like a lot of people say that like the first half of the album is like really good, but then it kind of like teeters off throughout like the second half. I have the opinion that it's like mixed a little bit. It was like it's like the songs I liked in particular, like mixed in like the first half and the second half. Yeah. So what are y'all's opinions on this? What were y'all thinking when you listened to this?
It's definitely a Seether album. Like it's almost every single thing.
Statement of fact as opinion.
A Seether album is a Seether album.
Yeah. Like they didn't go out on a limb on this one. I'll say that. I mean, it's like it's drop D tuning in almost every single thing. It's these. Seether isn't quite as edgelord as some of the other of the bands of this ilk, but they are fairly edgelord. I will say there is one song on here that I like, and I actually have in like my music on Amazon Music that I actually like to listen to. You want to guess which one it is?
I'm going to go with.
This became an omnibus trivia time.
Words as Weapons. No.
It's Same Damn Life.
Same Damn
I
Life.
actually like that song, except that it does kind of. That one definitely like rips off the melody from "I Will Follow Him."
Oh yeah.
My note for that was groove metal vibes. A lighter mid-stage Metallica on the instrument side.
I can see that. It
was a very load reload garage incorporated.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't like that era of Metallica, but I actually do. But that's the song on here that I actually like. All the other ones, like I used to really like Seether, but then like they began to grate on me because like I knew what I was going to get in a Seether song. And it got very boring, and the messages at the very least, like I like some bands that like most of their stuff sounds the same or it's in the same, vein over and over again, but they got to have a very interesting message with that. And so I've kind of like grown past Seether. I will say the fucking album cover is so cringy. Oh my God. It is so, it didn't get me until I was staring at it the whole time while I was listening to the video, and I was like, oh, that's a shadow of a gun. Oh my fucking God. This is so bad. But
I think of the album cover if you took what was the Rise Against album that we did? Rise Against.
It was
Appeal to Reason.
If you took Appeal to Reason and let Aaron Lewis have 5 minutes with it.
I mean, yeah. Also, that Appeal to Reason is a very bad album cover in my opinion. But yeah, that's. I will say, some of these songs they do a little bit more interestingly vocally. Like there are some songs where I'll go okay, it's not just the guy with his kind of droning voice going on and on and on.
I had some issues with some vocals. One of my notes for this is track 7, Watch Me Drown, 3 minutes, 10 seconds. I literally wrote it like this. This is petty. I don't like how he pronounces drown. He has to make drown fit the meter, and it doesn't work for me. It just kind of stood out for me. At this point, I didn't know if this was an album about coming out of, or going into and coming out of addiction, or going into or coming out of depression. I think it can work for both.
Yeah, that's the title does everything like that. So
the title to me felt more like addiction, isolate and medicate, than it was about being in a depression. But that was just me on that one. I do want to talk about Words as Weapons, because that is the lead single, in my opinion. From that's the one that probably has the most radio play.
When I think of this album, I only think of Words as Weapons. That's the foremost one that comes.
That's probably the only song I'd heard before.
Yeah, I definitely that one had been played a lot on the
for the longest time. I thought that this was some sort of reworking of Mad World.
I literally put that
particularly, but particularly the Gary Jules version, and not the original.
Yeah, I put the melody is similar to Mad World. I was like, because it kept running through, and I was primed with that because I've listened to Same Damn Life a lot, and I know that one is very much, and I was like, this is very similar to Mad World. Yeah, so I noticed that too. Yeah.
I watched this album literally actually because I had it on YouTube Music. It was the only way I had an option to listen to everything without everything being shuffled up.
Right.
And I had one of my we're going to start next year with the Omnis, and if I do this is my YouTube comment of the year. So spoiler that. And because of the H-Bomber Guy video, I know to cite my sources. This is from Apiday4160. Didn't know the name of this song, so I searched Seether Woo, and this was the first thing that came up. So, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Like I said, I've been listening to, I've listened to when they first got on the scene with, there was something before Gasoline. Gasoline, I think, was the Gasoline and the song with Amy Lee. They really took off.
Broken.
It was
Broken.
He's done that as something. He's done that song Broken. He's done it as a solo, and he's done it as a duet, and that it makes that song 10 times better.
Yeah, absolutely. But they had an album or maybe even two, but they had another song before that I remember liking. But yeah, it just kind of. I kind of grew out of this type. It doesn't help that this was in the vein. This was also the bands like this, Shine Down, a lot of those other what I put down to what I call butt rock. They had a problem where you would hear these songs if you were listening to rock radio, you heard these songs every 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And it really wears on you. That's why I don't listen to the radio, so that's why a lot of these pop songs that people are so tired of, I will listen to them and that's a good pop song. I'm not gonna listen to it all the time, but I like that
worn out from
because I don't hear it all the time. And I think that's what happened with a lot of these bands that it's me, but I think a lot of people, like, they just got played out so much because if all you could listen to was the radio, then you were going to hear these songs over and over.
Yeah, because for me, like, most of the time during that time period when I was listening to music, I was listening to it in the car, and I would just listen to CDs.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even, like, like Pandora and all that shit hadn't even really started. If it did, it was still early on, and there was no app for it on your phone or any of that shit. So,
like I want to say it was around like 2010 when I stopped listening to radio completely because my mom and dad they would have a Pandora, the Apple Music, and just playing their own songs on the their cars.
I was listening to CDs like forever in a day. Like I would listen to the radio when I got tired of listening to
CDs,
the same
8 tracks.
Yeah, CD. The same thing, really.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That in car record player.
Oh yeah, the in-car record player. That was my favorite. That's how I listened to My Chemical Romance was that in-car record player.
Yeah. I have Welcome to the Black Parade on vinyl.
I had it on CD at one point, but my CDs got stolen. So
if you're in your car listening to your record player, don't go over a railroad track.
Yeah,
Fucks it up.
Oof.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ask the people that had the first CD Walkmans about that.
Ooh, yeah.
There was no skip proof on those.
You couldn't turn those things
walk.
sideways.
You couldn't walk.
You couldn't put it in your pocket. Like when the technology came out to be able to put a CD player in your pocket.
Yeah,
like, and we had like the big pockets.
Oh yeah.
Or like
and we had the big pockets.
I realized that some people might be listening to this and be like, how the fuck do you fit a CD player in your pocket? Well,
we had big pockets.
Or we had the pockets on the side.
The cargo
pockets. Cargo that was big in the early 2000s.
Let's talk about everything but Seether.
Yes.
What you call cargo pants, we call tacos.
Yeah, we're really like trying to not talk about Seether. So like,
Okay.
Well, then let me attempt to talk.
This wasn't like the word. I will say like, hold on, I'm gonna let you finish.
That makes you Kanye.
He just had a listening party where he wore a black KKK hood.
I saw
He still loves Hitler.
I thought Seth Rogen cured him of that.
No, that was
Censored.
one who was fat and then not fat, and then
then
he
was
had the surfer he had the surfer girlfriend, but then he got mad at her because
Jonah Hill.
Yeah, Jonah Hill. That he was the one who cured him, but apparently he didn't do a good job. Take it, guys. If you have mental health problems, take your medication, please.
Use your money for therapy. These people that have all this money in the world,
please use your money, get therapy, and take your medicine if you are prescribed it.
So Seether.
Yeah. Shit. Where was I? This album was just. It was fine. It was all kind of just. Most of it washed over me. Again, like I like Same Damn Life. I will go to bat for that song.
Mm-hmm. A lot of it kind of bled together for me.
But it does kind of bleed together and just kind of wash over.
There are some songs that stood out because they would go like there was like your ballad like acoustic kind of stuff.
Yeah, there was like an acoustic song at the end, and then there was it Crash? I was like, well, this isn't in drop D. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
My notes for that is anthemish, not bad, and I like this. The other song on the album that got it for me was Save Today, which is the last track on the album.
I wrote that like Praying for Me, like the verses are actually interesting, like the cadence of them, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a little while since I've listened to this, and again, it's a Seether album, so it all kinds of bleeds together. But the chorus absolutely loses me. They had me for a little, like they almost had me, and then like in the chorus, they just do the regular ass bullshit that Seether does, so they just kind of lost me. I wrote down like I feel like I grew up, but this band didn't. Like it's still, I'm certain if I heard a Seether album, because I think they're still together.
Yeah, they're still together.
I found out through this that they're South African. I was not aware of that.
What?
What?
That is crazy.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah, they are a South African band.
the dude can't be going too bad. Like he did like date and I'm been presumably bang Amy Lee, so he had to be doing something.
Well, there
right.
you go.
My note for nobody praying for me is that quote unquote drifting in the water guitar. Like there was something about that guitar where just like it I don't want to say lazy, but I think not stressed guitar player in that one. I don't mean that in a bad way either.
Yeah. So going from Seether, which is the album I chose for my dad, we go to my older brother Skylar. Skylar, he,
or as he now will be known, Jimmy Jamiroquai.
The fuck?
We have
Skylar.
We have Timmy Trap, Bob Shinedown. Now we have Jimmy Jamiroquai.
Okay,
One of these things is not like the other.
All of them don't exist really.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times when my dad was at work, my older brother, he would watch over me and my younger siblings, and he would drive us to school and back, long car trips up to North Mississippi, and we would listen to his music, and so a lot of the some of his bands fall into like early 2000s, early to mid 2000s, like Fall Out Boy, Flowbots.
Okay.
And
I like those two things.
Yeah.
And one band that he really liked was Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yes.
And the album I chose for that, I had a little bit of difficulty choosing which one. It was between Stadium Arcadium and Californication.
Okay.
But I went with Californication just because there's a lot. I myself like a lot more songs on Californication than the other one, which don't judge me for not remembering the name, even though
Stadium
you just
Arcadium.
said it. Yeah.
It's probably better that you didn't pick that one anyway.
Yeah. I only like.
That didn't matter.
I actually like that one better as
I don't
an
like
album.
either one.
Counterpoint, that's my favorite Red Hot Chili Peppers album.
That's not my
Stadium Arcadium.
favorite.
Blood Sugar Sex Magic.
Blood Sugar Sex Magic is the best of their albums. I'm sorry, we're taking this away from you.
So Californication, that's the one I chose.
You sure did.
Jesus Christ.
I could have chosen 3 Shinedown
I'm
albums.
gonna-
I really could have.
You could have.
And then we would have ripped into 3 Shinedown albums. That's the whole reason why I didn't.
I'm gonna go eat some snacks and just let Jody take this one from here.
It's not your fault.
terrified right
It's not
now.
your fault that I hate the Red Hot Chili Peppers, but continue.
Yeah.
Do you really hate the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
I think they peaked at Blood Sugar Sex Magic, but continue.
Okay. I might want to poke around that a little bit. So
You probably don't want to be honest.
don't want okay, well, I like hearing people's.
Did you know that Anthony Kiedis was the first mumble rapper? Scar tissue, know it all.
Oh, I have never once wondered what the lyrics of that song was.
I know.
I was actually
Facetious.
reading the lyrics as the songs were playing.
You have to really.
Yeah. So scar tissue is kind of like.
Well, you got to get those banger lyrics like ding a ling a dang ding dong ding dang ling lang long
That's
ding dang.
Ministry. That's Gibby Haynes from Butthole Surfers.
First half, and it goes to what I was saying. Like the first half of the album, I really enjoyed, but it kind of like teeters out.
The first half
toward
is
the end.
much stronger than the last half.
What's the first song on the track list?
Around the
world.
Not
Yeah.
Daft Punk's Around the
No,
World. But
definitely not. Actually, I don't know which one of those songs I prefer because that's my least favorite Daft Punk song.
So, did you know for the 10th anniversary of Random Access Memories, they released a anniversary edition of the album with no drums?
Oh,
Yeah, that seems like a very good idea.
I don't know if I want that.
Yeah, nobody wants that. Nobody asked for that.
what the fuck?
Yeah. Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yes, Around the World, Parallel Universe. Then those two I wasn't really familiar with.
Yeah.
Then we get into like Scar Tissue, Other Side.
Yeah,
Then we get into the
Californication.
3 songs that everybody knows from this album.
Like Scar Tissue got so played back in the day.
That is a problem with Scar Tissue.
You know,
It never got played out for me, but
Right.
it got played out for a lot of people.
Well, I got tired of Under the Bridge.
I can see that, yeah.
That song got played out like back in the day.
Red Hot Chili Peppers is another one that kind of fell with
Right.
that. A lot of their songs just got played.
Because if you're
the
already
fuck out.
sort of like, you know, like I was talking to Jay about this like 2 weeks ago when we thought we were going to record. That you know, the thing about Red Hot Chili Peppers is that they do have a definitive style, and it did change. You know, it wasn't his vocal stylings are very similar, but like musically they did change.
Well, around the time of Stadium Arcadium, he actually got vocal lessons and became a better singer.
Maybe I do need to check that out. But I was comparing them not musically, but in the evolution of their music to another band, another legacy, another legacy band, which is
Mr. Bungle.
No, Jesus Christ!
I don't want to get off topic, but like Red Hot Chili Peppers, and this is just how I perceive a legacy band is a legacy band. Any band that's been around for 20 years that still produces music, or up until that point, is a legacy band. The other band on here is also a legacy band.
I can see that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I compared them not musically, but in the way they evolved, at least as I would look at Aerosmith, because 70s and early 80s Aerosmith very similar, but then you get to Pump, which has got Dude Looks Like a Lady, Love in the Elevator, and those songs, that album is completely different from their 70s stuff, and then you get a little bit further down, and then you get like Crazy and I Was Crying. And the other Living on the Edge, that album, and then eventually you get to the Armageddon soundtrack song, which wasn't written by them, I think. But anyway,
I think it was Bryan Adams.
If it wasn't, it was
he did a version of it. I know.
I know they at least had somebody helping them on that song.
Yeah,
but Red Hot Chili Peppers, like, is subjectively, whether you like them or not, they definitely evolved. I was more of a fan of their earlier, because it was because it was more funky, and there was a little bit of that, like, you could still kind of see that in hints of some of their songs, but it was like the most funky the older the songs are. The first song I ever heard by them was Fight Like a Brave. That was on their first album, and that's not Mother's Milk. Mother's Milk was their second album. And Mother's Milk had the
I like how you said that like somebody was going to challenge you.
Maybe.
It's like that wasn't their first album.
Yeah, Mother's Milk was their second album. That's the one that had the Stevie Wonder cover on it. Higher Ground. And I think they had one, I don't want to say a hit, but they did have a single off of that. That was a video that I sort of remember, but I don't right now. And then I don't remember if there was anything between Mother's Milk and Blood Sugar Sex Magic, but I don't think there was.
There was not.
Yeah, I think that was 3 years, because I think Mother's Milk was 88,
89,
or 89, and then the next one came out in 91, which was Blood Sugar Sex Magic. That's the one that had Give It Away, and it had Under the Bridge, and maybe one other hit single off of that.
That, like I said, is I think so. I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
No. I was done with that.
So, the kind of theme for these albums that you chose are hit or miss. I love Red Hot Chili Peppers. I wouldn't say they're in some number of my favorite bands. Right. I don't know, but I do like them. I don't think that they're very much in they're not really album bands. They're Blood Sugar Sex Magic, and for me, even though I know it's probably not a lot of people would agree with this, I think Stadium Arcadium, they're more Blood Sugar Sex Magic especially is a more complete album, I think.
Right.
Whereas I like a lot of the stuff that was singles, or maybe some other things that I heard from those albums, but on the whole, I don't think that they're very good at like making a complete album that is good to listen to. I bought this album like when it went, like either right during its heyday or right after, like right as the scar tissue thing was going down. But I think still they were still big, because I was still watching Californication on the music video on MTV.
This album released in June of '99, which for me, that was the summer after my freshman year in college, and that hit because there was a lot of traveling, just like in the car traveling that happened for me that summer. And if you want a backdrop for a road trip, that you can pick parts of this out. And what I mean is this: it doesn't do a cohesive road trip, but if you're having a fun road trip, you can pick like the back half, because they hit all the funk in the second half of the album. With the exception of, I think, Parallel Universe. I think Parallel was a little bit more funk. But if you're having like a high energy road trip, you go with that that first off, and then Californication is right as you're pulling up to where your destination.
Well, also
is.
99, if you historically in mainstream music anyway, 99 was a pivotal year where we started getting, like, I think 98 actually, we started, like, pop started coming back really hard with the boy and the girl bands, or at least the artists. Britney Spears debuted in 99.
Yeah.
And so NSYNC came out like around 98, 99.
I think it was like 98 when.
And I think,
Backstreet
like,
Boys.
also on the other side of things, you had Eminem still, taking off, and then you have, like, Korn's on
99, I believe, was the Marshall Mathers LP.
and
that sounds correct.
and then Korn.
I'm not a couple of years off. I'm not but a year off.
99 Slim Shady and 2000s Marshall Mathers.
We're about to find out.
I think 99 was a little bit before. I think that was like a year or two before that.
Slim Shady LP came out in 99.
Okay, I'm wrong.
Also,
the other reason
Then it was
for
like
that is
2001 was.
Yeah, because it's Slim Shady, Marshall Mathers, and the Eminem show.
Just want to go over some quick albums that came out in 99. Comparably, why I didn't listen to the Red Hot Chili Peppers in 99. So you had The Fragile, which is the following of The Downward Spiral by Nine Inch Nails.
Okay.
EDM started breaking out really big with the Chemical Brothers. Their album came out in 99.
Okay,
Yep.
Dr. Dre's solo album 2001 came out in 1999.
Oh yeah, that was a big one.
That was a good one. Rage Against the Machine's Battle for Los Angeles came out in 1999.
Yeah.
Let's see. Limp Bizkit's Significant Other came out in 99.
No, that's a big one.
It matters.
Yeah.
Fiona Apple.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Blur's Song 2 album came out in 99. Nas, I Am came out in 99.
Okay, yeah, that's a big one.
Is that the one with Jesus Walks?
Yes, I believe so.
No,
or maybe I'm not.
Jesus Walks was a Kanye West song.
Oh yeah, that
was from.
What's the
that
song?
Was from College Dropout.
What's the song that Nas has?
He had a video where he was.
Or
like,
am I thinking of like that album?
You're
cover
thinking.
where
You're thinking. No, there was a music video where there was a crucifixion in the video, and he got a lot of shit
That's
for
okay.
it.
My apologies for crossing those two up. My bad. My bad. Oh, but yeah. Okay.
Blink 182, Enema of the State came out in 99.
That's a really big one.
Yeah.
Nothing Left to Lose by the Foo Fighters came out in 99.
Yeah.
Okay.
Korn's Issues came out in 99.
Yeah.
That's the year of birth of new metal, because I think Biscuit is either 98 or 99.
I think new metal had started breaking right before that. Like Korn's first album was 95.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, you had all that was in
I
place.
think Issues was really when they broke out.
Yeah, I believe you're correct. Christina Aguilera's solo album came out in 99. Mm-hmm. Destiny's Child first album came out around that time period.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of music.
Crazy ass
It
year
was
for
a
music.
stacked year for
Yeah,
music.
for real.
Yeah, I'm trying
a
to
lot
see.
of like big things.
Oh, Santana's album came out in 99.
Oh,
the one he
yeah.
did with Rob Thomas, that one song.
The one that we did with Fuck All Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that won the Grammys that year.
What's that one song? It's like Maria. Who sang that?
I don't remember.
That was
I have that on my Spotify.
That's such a great album.
Mary J. Blige had an album in 99.
Oh, wow.
Wasn't Fuji's 99?
No,
or was that 98?
That was
the product GMB.
Fuji's was probably 98.
The score. I'm thinking the score.
I think that's 98 or 2000.
I don't think that was 99. I don't know exactly what the year was, but I think it was earlier than that.
It might have been.
I just remember like really listening in my earlier college years, so that's why I think 98, 99. That's why in my brain there.
Now I gotta look it up.
So let me bring it back to the Chili Peppers. This of the three, this was my favorite album to listen to. This is the one that connected with me the most as far as being able to kind of like really get into the music. This is the album John Frusciante came back in, and I will say this right now: it is not the Red Hot Chili Peppers without John Frusciante.
Yeah, I have to
that's
agree.
true.
Because in between Blood Sugar, Sex Magic, and Californication, you have an album where Dave Navarro comes in. Right. And I talked again when Jody and I were talking about this 2 weeks ago.
I think it's One Hot Minutes. That's
I think it's One Hot Minute, and the lead single on that being Warped.
And then there was Kiss the Girl too. Right?
Kiss the Girl was also, I think, on there. There was this move towards electronic. I like Dave Navarro. I think his work with
Jane's Addiction.
Jane's
Jane's
Addiction,
Addiction.
but the lead singer, Jane's Addiction, I can't remember.
Perry
Farrell.
Perry
know.
Farrell.
Perry
Yeah.
Farrell.
Yeah.
I love Jane's Addiction. I love Dave
Dude, I
Navarro.
like Jane's Addiction.
I love the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I don't like Dave Navarro
Yeah.
Right.
combined with the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I liked
don't think it worked.
Pharrell's other project more than Jane's Addiction.
I
Porno for Pyros.
Oh, I didn't know that he was in that.
He
Yeah,
also
I've heard
created,
of that.
He also created Lollapalooza.
He did
Oh, okay.
create Lollapalooza.
So
Dancing around.
we got really
Yeah.
away.
Sidetracked.
Let me get back to my John Frusciante point.
Sure.
Again,
Yes.
John Frusciante is necessary for Red Hot Chili Peppers
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
Absolutely necessary. Like you have everybody else. That you have Kiedis, you have Flea, you have Chad Smith. All of them are exceptional at what they do.
Yeah.
Around, and if I don't mention this right now, Holder's going to call me a bad friend. But Around the World starts out so good.
Yeah.
And then just loses the plot once it gets to the core, gets to the first verse.
Yeah, this was like
That
like the music in this is really good. A lot of these songs suffer from lyrics.
Yeah.
Like Anthony Kiedis, he gets 3 good songs out of this, and like he kind of falls apart on all the other songs. Red Hot Chili Peppers has a problem with filler in their albums.
Oh yeah.
That's why most of their albums I don't like all of it.
Right.
Back to my point of buying this album, I bought this album like right as this was like a big deal, and then I listened to the album, and then from then on only listened to the 3 singles on this album.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
there are 3 phenomenal songs on this album. Like Californication is one of my favorite songs, period. I don't know where it would go on the list. Probably not top 10, maybe top 50. I don't know.
Right.
But like, it's a really fucking good song.
But like Californication, Scar Tissue, Other Side. Like
Yeah.
those are the only 3 songs I listened to from this album before like sitting down and actually listening to this album.
Yeah.
I throw Around the World in there only for that opening.
I remember Around
that
the World because of the
opening.
batshit lyrics of it. But that opening is very good. Again, because you have fucking Flea,
Right.
one of the best bassists of all time.
I
playing
do
the bass.
love Flea.
That's
I do love
Flea at his fleest.
Like
Yeah.
Flea, Chad Smith, like amazing.
Yeah, Chad Smith's a great drummer. I'm a fan of the musicality of the band.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I don't know what it is maybe the repetitive nature of the way Anthony Kiedis sings, at least on this album.
Yeah, I mean,
but
he's not a great singer, and even after Stadium Arcadium, he wasn't a phenomenal singer.
He's got a very limited range. But his voice is so distinctive that you know it's
Yeah.
Anthony Kiedis. It's like, I can understand why Mike Patton's vocals would get on somebody's nerves, and it's the same for me. It's the same thing. It's not necessarily I don't hate the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
I have I don't know something against his voice. I just can't.
I can see that.
I just can't handle it most of the time. The music was great on most of the songs.
I will say, since I've listened to like certain songs of this like a lot, I actually there was a 2014 I think it was 2014 remaster of this. So I went back and forth with some of these. Some of the songs that I'm not super familiar with, I didn't do that with, but like I listened to Californication in the original, and then I listened to the remaster. And I couldn't tell much. I don't know how I am with music. Like I don't have the greatest ear for music. So I didn't see, although like Around the World the remaster felt a lot harsher. Like it was actually kind of painful to listen to. So I went and listened to the original version of that.
right.
But yeah, for most of these, I couldn't really tell the difference in it when sometimes I can when it comes to remaster. But man, with this, there's some fucking get on top. Gorilla Cuntilla. What the fuck? What the fuck?
No.
I think Anthony Kiedis had an autobiography that he wrote, and I think this was also during the time where he
As opposed to the autobiographies he didn't write.
yeah, that too. But I think some of this was also while he was really like bad on drugs. Because man, some of these I like Dirt.
Yeah, I
Live to
the
love and
album-
give good tongue. What the fuck, Anthony? Like
the album. I kind of lost the album when I got to I Like Dirt.
yeah, the and he does like really good, I think, Californication has legitimately really good, interesting lyrics that you can like look at and be like, oh, okay, he means this with this. Oh, that's interesting. And then, around the world, it goes ding a dang, ding lang dong, ding dang. And I'm like, and he does that like 2 or 3 times. And I'm like, was this necessary, man? Again, like hit or miss. That's the big thing. The album wasn't as bad as I remember. I will say that.
Yeah.
I still love the songs that I love and don't like the songs that I don't like. But yeah, there's some bonker shit on this.
Yeah.
I did write that, and again, it's been a little while. It's been a couple weeks, so I can't remember exactly the reason I wrote this. But I wrote that like Savior was one of the more interesting songs. I like the music and the lyrics of Velvet Glove. Again, I had only listened to this album all the way through once before that.
I got halfway through I Like Dirt. I don't even have to look at my notebook for this one. I got through halfway through I Like Dirt, and it's like, did Les Claypool like sneak lyrics for a song in, like sneak a Primus song into a Red Hot Chili Peppers album, and then just see if it would work? And it just did. Because that, like, I think of I Like Dirt and My Name Is Mud.
Yeah.
And I think, like, I literally can't cross those. Like, I can't go into one song now and not cross the other one into it.
I can see that. Yeah, it's just, I really like the band, but like this album it had 3 really good songs, and then the rest of them, I'm not ever gonna listen to again. And to be honest, 2 of those 3 songs I'm not really gonna listen to that much, because although I like Scar Tissue and Other Side, Scar Tissue especially, it has been kind of played out, and I'm not gonna get mad if it gets played around me, but it is a good song. I'm just not gonna listen to it. Gotcha. Californication I can listen to over and over and over again. Like I fucking love that song. So that's me.
All right. I feel like it is time to move on to our final album.
No, let's just give 20 minutes of pure silence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we'll get to it. It'll be avant-garde, like Wacky Deli.
I mean, it's a season finale. We could really just do anything.
We could do anything for any episode ever.
Yeah.
I swear, when Brady was going ding dang dong, a ding a ding ding dong, I thought he was talking about the Ministry song with "Give Me Hands."
I thought he was talking about. I thought that.
Have you ever heard Jesus?
No, I haven't listened to Ministry. I don't listen to.
Have you ever heard Jesus Built My Hot Rod?
No.
Oh, okay.
Why the fuck would I?
I was thinking this song Blue Moon, where it goes bob 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 ding dang ding dong. Blue Moon, you saw me standing alone without a dream in my heart.
I'd like to segue.
Zero of us can sing.
And the new episode of Fearology is going to be about werewolves. An American Werewolf in London used that song in a very, really...
Motherfucker, you sneaking the plug in already?
You can watch Wolf of Snow Hollow.
Which one?
Wolf of Snow Hollow.
I do need to see that. So tell us how we're fighting the food.
Review Wolf of Wall Street on your werewolf shit. Do it.
So
I watched that. There was not one hairy motherfucker in there. Disappointment.
I didn't see a fucking
3
wolf.
fucking hours.
That's like Brotherhood the Wolf. There's almost no wolves in that movie.
Yeah, there really isn't, actually.
I saw Wall Street. Where's the wolf?
Snipping cocaine out of that stripper's butt.
Yeah.
Censored. That's the part we're cutting. Okay.
Yeah. No, they prefer to be called little people, so I'm not going to.
Leave that part in.
You got it. You got it.
Cut the other part and leave this part in.
Yep.
So people are just really confused. I don't care. I'm not going to listen to this.
There we go.
So
you gave us 2 albums and a greatest hits collection.
yes, I did. For the third album, I wanted to find something that both my dad and my brother had in common,
And that most of us may like.
I generally hope.
I was hoping you were saying, I don't give a fuck what you like. Listen, dog.
I just completely lose it one episode and like, fuck.
I mean, it's bound to happen one day.
Yeah.
Dave Grohl murdered Kurt Cobain. Didn't you know that?
Yeah.
No.
Interesting.
My favorite, one of my favorite
Just like
conspiracy
how Bob
theories.
Ross fought.
Yeah. One of my favorite conspiracy theories is that Courtney Love was a CIA plant who would go and disrupt burgeoning music scenes because they might lead to a counterculture.
Yeah, and part of the whole scam was that she was hopped up on so much heroin it would kill a horse.
Yeah.
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 Jesus.
Interrupted an interview with Madonna and Kurt Loder and started throwing shoes. That happened on television. That happened on television.
Basic cable, baby.
I wonder if it happened on television.
It happened on television.
Courtney Love was fucking crazy.
And on
Is
drugs.
crazy.
Yeah.
And on drugs.
So
I was hoping
Kurt
that.
Cobain's daughter is married to Tony Hawk's son.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I remember seeing something about
Francis
that.
Bean?
Yes. She's pretty hot.
Francis Bean Hawk.
Yeah.
Wow.
Francis
What a
Hawk.
name.
I was hoping that this album would be for your mother, so I could call her Tina Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
That's the only Christmas album I'll listen to.
Yeah. So I wanted to find
Anyway, sorry.
I wanted to find something that both my dad and my brother enjoyed listening to, and they both really love the Foo Fighters.
Well,
Okay.
at least they have some taste.
Yes. And so that in turn allowed me to listen to Foo Fighters, and me also love the Foo Fighters. And I didn't know which album of those
Clearly.
to pick. So
Yeah.
I picked
You just picked all of them.
I picked all
You
of them.
picked
with,
all of them,
with,
basically.
with the greatest hits album from 2009. 2009.
I'll be honest, it made it easy because all the songs that I've listened to like a ton, I just didn't have to listen to those because I know how the fuck I feel about those songs.
Exactly.
So I just had to go, oh, I haven't heard of this song, this song, this song, and this song. Let me listen to those.
or like me, I was like listening to all these albums while I was playing video games, and like a song would come on, and I was like, oh, I remember this one.
Yeah.
I wanna be your monkey wrench. Yeah.
Like a lot of these are not all of these. All of these are just like
Their
family
greatest
vacation-
hits, you'd say.
Yeah, greatest hits.
Yeah.
Family vacations.
Some
are
of
just
them are bangers.
They are
Yeah.
the best of their hits.
The best of
you.
Foo Fighters. Yeah.
Some would say the greatest of the hits.
So
We made that joke already.
And I'm saying
You made
it
the
again.
Jake again.
I made the Jake again. Yes.
I'm stroking. Oh
One
no.
would say that song is Everlong.
Jesus.
Oh, it's been a long day.
Yeah.
Yes.
99 Luftballons.
Yeah, that's
I just
not on here.
Can you imagine the Foo Fighters doing 99 Luftballons?
What's the first song on
That
this
probably would have
album?
been on the
All My
not
Life.
the not
All
another
My
teen
Life.
movie
Like-
soundtrack because they had a lot of those where they were covers.
It goes from All My Life, Best of You.
Slow down.
Okay.
Stop
Damn.
trying to burn through all the fucking songs. You did that on the shitty ones. I get it. That's fine. I'll let that happen. But
Let the man talk about the
let's
good ones.
Slow
Okay,
down
okay.
for a second.
All My Life.
All My Life. That's pretty good.
This is the same way he treats me when I'm
asshole.
driving from Pascagoula to Goshen.
It's pretty good.
Slow down.
I liked it.
That's just that's what
I
people
don't
tell me when
remember-
I'm driving on the interstate. Slow down.
I don't remember listening to this song before.
Stop saying the same joke
this
I
album.
had after I say it.
All My
God damn
Life
it.
was on the same album as Times Like These.
Okay. I never owned any Foo Fighters albums. I liked them, but I never bought any of their music.
So Foo Fighters again with this is the epitome of a hit or miss band. I appreciate the Foo Fighters more than I actually like all of the Foo Fighters music.
Yeah, I don't like all of their songs either.
I love that they exist. I love Dave Grohl. I love all of them. Rest in peace, Taylor
Hawkins.
Yeah, I love all of them, and I'm glad that they exist. But like, it goes from some of the songs on this album are some of my favorite songs of all time to man, I really don't care about to this song. It's fine, or I actively don't like. All My Life, I actually is one of the songs that I do not like at all.
This may have nothing to do with the topic, but whenever I think of a song "All My Life," I think of "All My Life" from Casey and JoJo, formerly Jodeci, and I used to have like work boots that looked like the army boots Jodeci wore.
Oh, okay.
I think
That had absolutely nothing to do with
no,
Foo Fighters.
no,
My
no.
apologies.
the most overplayed for me anyway during the MTV days was Everlong. That song, like, it's all right, it's passable, but I
like Everlong all right.
It's okay.
It's not one.
Right.
I'm not gonna get mad that it's on, but I'm not gonna
Right.
like listen.
What's
to
the
it a
second
lot.
track?
Best of You.
Best of You.
I don't like that song either.
Yeah.
Just I don't have much to say because I just don't like that.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, so Foo Fighters songs are repetitive, which when you have choruses, obviously, but really you feel it because a lot of times I feel David Grohl is attacking me with his lyrics. It's like, oh my life, like all my, I'm expecting to have like slide a knife through my ribs, but it's like the best, like just screaming at me. It's like, holy shit, please stop.
The best a man can get.
Yeah.
What's the third track?
It goes into Everlong.
Everlong
is fine. Like
It's
I said,
all right.
it's I can take it or leave it.
Jay wanted to say something about Everlong.
Yeah, I have a kind of an over thing about all of it that I'd kind of like to sum up at once. So, like, by all means, I'd like y'all to continue.
Okay.
and
What is
then
it?
I'll get back.
That
to
one
mine.
was The Color and the Shape, I believe, was the name of that album.
Uh,
I can see the album cover.
Because I think Everlong is also with.
I think it's the first album.
I think it's also with My Hero.
My Hero, yeah.
Or
maybe
just
the-
Hero.
or maybe the second.
yeah, the color and the shape.
The color and the
Color and the
shape.
Shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
One by One, I think, is the one that has All My Life on it. Best of You, I cannot remember exactly. That was the one that was after that one.
Next track is The Pretender.
The Pretender is one of my favorite songs
Yeah.
of all time. I fucking love that song.
How's that one go again?
Keep you in the dark, you know they are.
But your face, you're the pretender. Like
Oh
that.
yeah.
Th-
One
th-
by but up.
Yeah.
This is
I
the
fucking
song.
love that song.
Yeah, that was
phenomenal.
pretty good.
This is the song that got me into.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
I can
was-
see that. I can
yeah,
see
yeah.
that. I can see that. I can
That's
listen
a
to
bang.
this
The
song.
chorus is a banger.
Yeah.
I can listen to
Yeah.
this song. Then that's a phenomenal music video.
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
Where they got the police are
Yeah,
charging
they
at
have-
him.
they have, like, the
and then it
SWAT
slows
team.
down when they go back into the refrain from the beginning, and then it hits, and then everything blows up. And it's
Right.
like, oh,
It's
Foo Fighters has some good
fantastic.
fucking
Videos.
music.
Yeah, their
videos.
videos are pretty rad.
goes from a Pretender to My Hero.
My Hero is one of my favorite songs.
Goes
My Hero.
And that is also a phenomenal fucking music video.
Oh yeah.
Because as soon as I got done with listening to this, I had to watch that video, and then I also watched the live performance with Taylor Hawkins' son
Shane.
playing
Shane
it,
Hawkins.
playing on it.
Yeah.
Man.
That's just an emotional.
Oh
Right.
my god,
like,
yeah, I teared up.
throughout
Shit,
the entire thing of it.
Right.
yeah,
I mentioned it last year. Like that was my music performance of the entire year.
yeah. That's a really fucking good one. But yeah, My Hero is one of my favorite songs of all time.
It's a really good one.
Goes to Learn to Fly.
Learn to Fly is a decent
Meg,
song. That was one of the in that Color and the Shape era.
It's very like not that it sounds like them, but for the band, it's almost like they're like Sugar Ray pop hit. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like it's very it's not in that vein at all. It's not frat rock,
I
but
think this was one of their first singles from Color and the Shape. This was one of their because they did an album before the Color and the Shape that was just called the Foo Fighters, and it was really just Dave Grohl, and then he got some people to come play
Right.
before they was even really the Foo Fighters.
right. They got Pat Smear
Yeah,
and
Pat Smear.
and what's his name? But yeah, that one's all right.
Goes to
Is there something indicative about that where we could have named every member of Red Hot Chili Peppers, but we can't do the same for Foo Fighters?
I just
Well,
know
they
three.
had-
I
is
know
it
3
weird?
out of the 4.
Well, in
out
the
of
first
four.
the first album, I know for a fact
The first album was really just Dave Grohl.
The first album, because they
I thought Taylor Hawkins was in it.
No.
the first album that's just called Foo Fighters is really just Dave Grohl.
because Hawkins was playing with Alanis Morissette for that first rock
didn't know
album
that.
that she did. If you watch the first single she had, it's the one about
You ought to know.
You Ought to Know. You see him in the video. He's in the video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I don't think
So,
I've ever seen that video.
he was-
Well, I say that, and that because
yeah.
the band that's playing
Taylor
is in the
Hawkins.
video.
Taylor Hawkins is in the band that was supporting.
Oh, well, that makes sense. That's why Alanis Morissette played during the memorial thing. She came out and
Right,
and they did.
right.
I
And
think
then-
they did. You ought to know.
And then
at that memorial.
it was either the second or third.
Okay.
second or third Foo Fighters album that he joined with Dave. It might have been the second one.
I think Color in the Shape was right after that Foo Fighters.
Because I think like after like before she made a second album, he was already with them.
Yeah.
It was boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. After The Color and the Shape, it goes to There Is Nothing Left to Lose, and then into One by One.
Yeah.
Nothing
one
left
by
to
one by
lose.
one is the same one that has All My Life and Times Like These on it.
Speaking of which, it goes from Learn to Fly to Times Like These.
Times Like These is
Like
one of my
These.
favorite songs ever. Like that's such a good fucking song.
I've never listened to Times Like These before listening to
Oh,
this
wow.
album.
I don't think I've heard it either.
I bought the album that had All My Life and Times Like These, and Times Like These was the only song off that album that I liked. Like I kept listening to it, and I was like, man, I don't like any of these fucking songs.
Yeah.
That was kind of when I found out. Oh, they're really hit or miss. With me.
Yeah.
From Times Like These to Monkey Wrench, which
Monkey Wrench.
that's just a good song to like listen to on
Monkey
the road.
Wrench is I don't particularly like, but I like it from it was in Guitar Hero 1. I played the fuck out of that song.
I love Monkey Wrench because Monkey Wrench. I'm a big and there's currently, and I mean currently, the past 15, 20 years, power pop is not really a thing anymore. Like power pop was a thing like which usually is rock driven, but with like pop sensibilities.
Yeah.
So like the mid to late 60s rock movement, a lot of those bands were power pop. Like some of the Who songs were power pop. And even in the 70s, you get it in the early 70s with some power pop. And then in the mid 80s, there was a lot of it too. There was a lot of like the new wave with guitars though. That's power pop, and that song really reminded me of like Monkey Wrench is a very power pop song. You have a lot of pop sensibilities, metal guitars.
Jody, say power pop one more time.
Power pop.
Power pop.
Yeah.
That's going to be the title of the episode.
Awesome.
Yeah,
No one's gonna
Jody
understand.
says power pop 50 times.
Yeah. There's like some sort of like frozen treat thing called a power pop, and Jody's been co-opted by them.
That's it. That's what it is. All right. So after the power pop banger, Monkey Wrench, what do we have after that?
Big Me.
Big Me, that was one of their earlier ones. I think that was like one
Is
of
that
their
the
first.
fingernails up? Or am I thinking of another?
I think so. I don't know. That one's one that I'm not crazy about.
Gotcha.
That's-
so I don't.
That's one of the
That is one of their older ones. I think that was before.
I want to say that was on the first.
That was either on Everlong or that was before Everlong. That was not Everlong. The Color and the Shape.
I believe that was the first. I believe that was their first video, but I got
Big Me was on Foo Fighters.
It was on Foo Fighters. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. I thought it was earlier than Color and the Shape. Yeah, that one's it's fine. It's not one that I'm going to listen to anytime soon.
fingernails are pretty. This is a call.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's one
Which
that
is
coming.
Which is coming up. Breakout is after Big Me.
Breakout. I kind of like. It was featured in the hit movie Me, Myself, and Irene. Anybody remember that movie?
The Jim Carrey one.
Yeah,
Yes. Uh-huh.
yeah. Man, that movie sucks.
I do not remember this on
It's
that movie.
not.
That movie sucks. I don't even think it was in the movie. I think it was
Just on the soundtrack.
The tape that I watched, it was the video for it was afterwards, and like the Me, Myself, and Irene people were all in the video.
That reminds me of soundtracks that would get sequels, and there wasn't a sequel to the movie.
Yeah.
There was like 3 sequel soundtracks to Dumb and Dumber, I think.
Oh yeah, because that was a banger of a fucking soundtrack.
Let's see how long this plane flies.
Okay.
If you take the Foo Fighters out and you put Blink 182 in, I think it's the same song.
That is fair.
Yeah.
That is fair.
I could see that.
It's about the same type of song that Blink 182.
Chord progressions.
It's not as childish as most especially early Blink 182 is, but I can see that. Yeah. I mean, it's
what's
kind of
weird-
it's kind of a pop pump song, like it really is.
Like what's weird with Blink 182, it's like you'll get like these childish anthems and these very kind of like almost soulful looks at the human condition on the same album.
That's because you have 2 songwriters and 2 lead singers.
Yeah.
That is the big thing.
They are the Paul and John
like
of
you
that
have
band.
all the small things.
Yeah.
You heard it here.
Jody Kite, cut and print that.
Tom DeLonge, and what's the other guy's name? I can't remember.
No, that's enough. Tom DeLonge and the other guy from Blink 182.
Guess which one's John and which one's Paul?
I think one of them is the 5th Beatle that didn't make it.
Where are you?
And I'm so sorry. But now we're making fun of that.
Yeah.
I actually like that song.
I actually don't like that song.
It's okay.
But no, again, you have all the small things and Adam's song on the same fucking album.
Right.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, we're still.
We went off on Route 182. Sorry
Breakout.
about that.
It's good. It's fine. It's all right.
Okay. So
Long Road to Ruin.
Don't like it. Don't like it. Ain't my song.
Like going towards the end of this album, like these songs I wasn't really a big fan of.
Most of these are like their later albums, and most of their later albums, I didn't like anything from them. Again, I still appreciate and love that they exist.
Yes.
It's just like I'm not that big of a fan of these parts.
Then we get to This Is a Call.
Don't like it.
That's I love it.
Yeah. So again, like I have nothing against anybody who likes any of these songs. But it's just like this. This didn't do it for me.
Fingernails are pretty. Fingernails are. Don't know the rest of the words. To the song.
I thought you were Anthony Kiedis. I thought you were Anthony Kiedising the song.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Just fucking putting in sounds instead of actual words.
Just Anthony Kiedis.
And I'm looking to the sky to see Badaba.
Nope, you didn't get me.
I got enough.
No, nothing came out. You didn't get me. You can't count.
He got a reaction.
I got a reaction.
Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too?
All
right. What's next?
Wait, hold on. Just for history's sake, there was almost a spit take. Yes, I made that rhyme. Anyway, okay, we're on.
This is called. Did I say Skin and Bones?
Skin and Bones. I never heard before, and I actually liked that song.
It was all right.
Well, this is the.
I think it was a live version.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what the original song sounds like.
Yeah.
They could be doing a different version, but I liked that version, and it was a good song.
Sometimes live songs just hit different too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wheels.
It was okay. I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah.
Can take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Word Forward.
Don't like it. Never heard of it before and didn't like it.
Yeah.
Again, it's hit or miss.
And then we go to the last track, which is the acoustic version of Everlong.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Everlong is. I liked it as much as I like Everlong.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, the greatest hits with this actually works because to me, Foo Fighters isn't an album band.
Right.
I like a lot of their singles. Again, some of their songs are my favorite songs.
Also, some of their
songs,
songs,
all time.
Some of their songs also like even like overplayed or whatever. Everlong doesn't sound like any other song that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Learn to Fly doesn't really sound like any of their other songs that they have.
I think that one's more. Everlong is a little bit off from that, but then like you can tell like there are different eras,
right?
Like
Foo Fighters, yeah.
You can see the
progression,
the more punky stuff in the beginning, and then it changes, and they actually do different things. So they're not the exact same band all the way through,
right? Yeah, it's like if you like the way Devo sounds, you'll like all of their albums because Devo sounds the same on all of their songs for the most part.
That's an interesting pull.
I mean, the same can go.
You didn't think you'd get a Devo reference.
The same thing goes for Motorhead.
I mean, yeah.
So the lead singer from Devo was in Studio 54.
Mark Smothersbaugh.
Yeah. That literally sounds like a dish at Shoney's.
Yeah,
and that's a buffet. Anyway, so
Jay, you said you wanted to.
I want to get my fucking Devo story out real quick. God damn it! And he's at Studio 54. And it's like, hey, I want to get high. Pass me a joint. And they pass him a joint. And he starts smoking the joint. And he's looking down the dance floor. And then all of a sudden, like blades come down from the chandeliers, and they start chopping everybody up. And there's fucking like arms and limbs fucking everywhere, and somebody's head lands in his lap, and he starts screaming and go, "What the fuck's wrong with you?" It's like, I don't know, I just smoked a joint. And the guy, like, and his friend is like, "You idiot! You just smoked angel dust."
Okay, yeah. Jesus Christ.
You like to get wet?
Sherman Hemsley, Love Boat, Ashy Larry.
Jesus Christ.
Dave Chappelle.
It's got a really weird ASMR thing.
There you go.
That just happened.
Welcome to the ASMR bus.
Yeah.
I'm scared of the ASMR bus.
You should be.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
it's basically a whispered bang bus.
What the fuck? So anyway, Foo Fighters.
Your thoughts, Jay.
Yeah.
Jay's
okay.
final thoughts.
Yeah.
Everybody.
I needed to get all the silliness out because I'm going to be. This part is legitimately going to be very sincere.
Okay.
This was the hardest album for me because I hit an impasse and I generally had it at the back of my head for like a day and a half thinking about this. As I was going through that, and just real quick, Everlong to me is one of the greatest rock songs of all time. I love Learn to Fly. Culturally significantly for Everlong, it is the last song ever played on David Letterman's Late Show. It was when he retired from terrestrial. That was the last song. And just just a quick funny story. He had his heart attack. He came back and he asked Foo Fighters, "Hey, I love Everlong. Can you please come to the show?" And so his booking crew got with their agents. And the agents came back and said, "Okay, they're in a tour of South America right now." "Well, no, I understand." "No, it's okay." "No, it's okay. They canceled the tour." And so on his first night back, they're playing Everlong, and the last time he was ever on the air, Everlong played him off.
That's awesome.
So there's a huge cultural significance with
that's
that.
awesome.
Learn to Fly is just a joyous song. I enjoy it. And for the most part, like, not counting what I'm about to say, I love the Foo Fighters. With that said, I kept thinking about this, and I think it was in our head, or in my head, because we had done our chalkboard and we named "Smells Like Teen Spirit" the #1 music video of all time, and it had me thinking about Nirvana. I know this trade is foolish, and I know that the payoff on this could actually be a complete dud. But as I was listening to this entire album, the thought crept into my head is, you could take all of these songs and the albums from where these songs come from, and you could erase them completely from history, and I would be absolutely okay with that if I got one more Nirvana album. And that's, please understand, I know that trade is stupid because you don't know what that last album may have could have been. I'm literally arguing for a negative.
Sure.
But in the back of my head, I want Kurt, I want Chris, and I want
Dave.
I want them literally the one person that links these two together.
Pat Smear would have been,
and Pat would have been a part of it too.
Absolutely been on that next album. He was basically the fourth member of Nirvana by then.
I would want one more album, and that thought has not left my mind even for like the week and a half that it's been burrowing in my head.
One of the
I know it's not a reasonable. I know it's not a reasonable thought.
I mean, I
can't get away
as
from
much
it.
as like they're hit or miss for me. I don't think that I could take that because like then again, 3 of my favorite songs of all time, and I love Nirvana,
And-
wouldn't exist, and I don't think that I could. I could. They could lose every single thing except for those 3 songs, and I would still be like, okay, this like. I still wouldn't trade it then. Like
I think that also like Nirvana like has a small body of work, but I count Unplugged as one of their albums. Like that's
I mean half of those songs
100%.
half of those songs aren't even like on their other albums.
Particularly that album, because that was the best expression of the spirit of that band, because if MTV, Paramount, Viacom, whoever the fuck you want to call the puppet master there putting that together,
right,
they would have probably just had them play Smells Like Teen Spirit for an hour and a half and be done with it.
Right.
Yeah.
But instead they's like, no, we're going to sing shit you've never heard, shit from people that you've never heard from before. We're doing this our own way.
Lead Belly.
Yeah, we're going to sing Lead Belly. Just
Lead
go
Belly.
for it.
Let's sing a David Bowie song nobody's heard of.
Yeah.
Like at the time, much, because Man Who Sold the World was not one of his most known songs. That's the album that came out after Ziggy Stardust. And
okay.
Yep.
like before Aladdin Sane, and nobody fucking listened to that album. And that rendition of that song is fucking amazing.
But I understand, like, believe me,
Right.
no one, especially for me, like, understands that is such an unreasonable fucking thought to have.
Yeah.
But it just kept, and it's still buried in my brain that I would give all of this up for one more Nirvana album. That's knowing that gamble, it probably doesn't pay off.
Well, you have a generational iconic talent that you don't get that very often, and when you do, unfortunately, sometimes things like that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Joplin. I love Joplin, but I mean, it's just just one of Hendrix, Morrison.
So going back to what Jay was saying about trading all of Foo Fighters for one more Nirvana, I could not make that trade.
I couldn't make it just for those 3 songs.
The rational part of my head knows, do not make that trade. Emotionally, I would make that trade this moment, right now as we're recording it, right now as the passengers are listening to it. I would make that trade right now. I know it's not fucking reasonable to make that trade.
Yeah.
But that was my overall reaction to listening to the album. That threw me completely for a fucking loop.
I can see that. It's a hard thing because you don't know like what you would get. I know that people have kind of put together things that like, oh, this might be what their Nirvana's 4th album was.
You can't prove a negative.
Well, because they found like they've compiled like demos and different like things that they were working on, things like that.
I pray to God nobody runs that through an AI that simulates Kurt's voice, and they try to do that.
I mean,
hey, there's a new Beatles song, guys. Anyway,
well, that one was actually not
that.
like,
I know.
That was a little bit different, but there is a lot of iffy. Like I watched the video on that, and the points that they make are kind of good, but that was at least made with the people. That was just using like technology to pull John Lennon's voice from like the shitty demo that they had working with. Right. So there was at least that.
So this concludes the master mixtape.
Why are you tripping over it?
I don't know.
Say that with authority. God damn it.
Yeah.
This.
So much authority.
He can't do it. It's fine. It's okay.
Everything
we're so long into this.
Yes, we are.
Everything that we have done in this past year, everything that we've discussed, has now been wrapped up into this final discussion for the year.
Oh man,
we listened to these albums. What did you think about them?
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us in the comments and in the
if we had to listen to them, so do you, motherfuckers.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know how you feel about Janis Joplin not being on the list. We're still furious about it.
Oh, now he has to add that in because now this shit doesn't make sense.
No, I don't need context.
Tell us whether or not you like the Red
just
Hot Chili
fucking
Peppers.
cut this to ribbons and just Finnegan's Wake the fuck out of this. Just cut it all into pieces and put it all in different areas. Make up words and throw them in.
I'm going to turn this whole section into a Quentin Tarantino movie by way of Ingmar Bergman, and literally words will be out of place. Arguments will be made before the actual argument comes up. At what point
did we play chess with death?
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is you just gonna cut all of this and play the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
No, because then I get DMCA'd.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be me alone getting DMCA'd. It's like who cut the? Because all y'all will be gone and all will be left is scar tissue that I wish you saw. Sarcasm, Mr. Dippa-Dappa-Gippa-Doo.
Back it down. I heard that you were talking about us, and we
should have been dead on a Sunday morning, banging my head.
At least
no time for mourning. Ain't got no time. If you're wondering why Creed is suddenly shown up, it's because I really wanted to hurt Jody.
Like,
I just wanted to hurt him. I just wanted to make him feel bad for no good goddamn reason.
So next year, when we actually lose people and don't gain listeners, this will be why, because this was the last thing that they hear.
This was the moment,
and it was you screaming Creed lyrics.
Yeah, and I was singing them at the level that Scott Stapp sings them.
Again, screaming Creed lyrics.
It doesn't even have to be.
Sing is a strong word for what Scott Stapp does, sir.
Screaming Creed. That's it.
Again, the man cannot put a D at the end of a word.
I can say that. I can say that because they used to be my favorite band when I had no taste in music. So yeah,
I owned Human Clay. I'll admit it.
I owned 3 of their albums. I don't know if they had more because I didn't check.
No.
I listened to Creed and then I stopped.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the right thing to do.
I changed the channel anytime any of their videos went on MTV.
So these weren't the worst albums, but
They definitely weren't the best.
again, hit or miss is the main thing
Yeah.
coming from me. Some of these songs are my favorite songs of all time.
Stay
and some-
tuned for Tom Waits' Rain Dogs the next time I get my choice.
Jesus Christ!
Oh no.
I thought we
I'm
agreed we
scared.
weren't going to do that bullshit.
No, Mr. Bungle.
I'm
no,
scared.
no Tom Waits. No Tom Waits.
If you pull some bullshit, I'm making us all listen to Necrogoblicon.
I think I've heard them.
Yeah, and you said you hated them because you
Yeah.
didn't make it through an
Is
entire
this
song.
just a
That's true.
nuclear arms race of
No.
weird
Yeah, it's
fucking music?
mutually assured destruction.
Yeah.
Everyone's just pointing guns at
We
everyone
want to be
else.
serious. This is a Mexican standoff.
Kevin Shelton and Jared Hubbard
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
host a show called Silence Your Cell Phones. It's a podcast where they talk about movies, streaming, TV, and all that fun stuff. You can check them out on all the platforms. Sometimes they still do YouTube, I think.
Kevin was actually down here last week.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, he had to see a girl about a horse. Some of a bitch stole my line.
To see a girl about a horse.
Yeah.
Brady, plug someone.
The Whiskey and Wrestling is a show where our friends Jason Holder and Michael Hill talk about wrestling. Sometimes they will talk about the week's past of wrestling, and sometimes they will talk about old shows that do wrestling.
Cask-aged wrestling.
And then they will talk about a whiskey or some other liquor that they have also paired with their talkings. And I'm trying to make this sound like it was made by AI. That's it.
I made a formal request on their Facebook page for them to review the first ECW pay-per-view.
Nice.
I saw that, yes.
I'm sure they
Listen
haven't
to
talked
them.
about the new CM Punk showings at WWE.
Listen
Man, I
and
don't
talk
give a
about
fuck about
the,
that.
the,
The-
possible decline of
The
AEW.
most recent title that I remember from theirs is The Hollowness of CM Punk.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's, yeah.
Is AEW in trouble?
I mean, probably. I
Nah.
kind of don't give a shit about them anymore
Yeah.
either.
Jay, plug someone.
Creed is an American rock band from Tallahassee, Florida, formed in 1994.
Of course they're from Florida.
Their members are Brian Marshall, Scott Phillips, Scott Stapp, and Mark Tremonti.
3
Their
out of 4 of those are actually good.
Their
wait.
discography
We're
includes
losing
My
someone.
Own Prison,
Yeah. We're
losing Jody.
1997, Human
Yeah.
Clay, 1999,
Jody,
Yeah.
come back to
Weathered,
us.
Owned that
2001, and Full
Owned
Circle,
that one.
2009.
I didn't own that one.
You can listen to them by going on a boat.
Yeah.
To hell!
Yeah. There's
That
2.
includes
There's a lot,
Daughtry.
there's a
There you
lot
go.
of bands on
There you
that
go.
boat that need
My
to go
plug-
to
my
hell.
plug
Yeah.
is...
I'll be honest, if they hit a typhoon, that won't be the worst thing ever. Yeah.
Jay,
Buck Cherry will look out at the typhoon and go, "You're a crazy bitch." Okay, that's my only joke about Buck Cherry.
Buck Cherry's their own joke, Jay.
Buck Cherry will probably just float on like a cloud of hair
they will
grease
float on a cloud.
Wait, what?
and
How do you get a cloud of
and
hair
soccer
grease?
mom titties. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Molly Crew saw Buck Cherry and went, God, you guys look old.
Ooh, have you seen the
No. Have you seen Vince
Motley
Neil?
Crue
No,
lately?
just Vince Neil.
No, all of them that are still in the band.
Jesus.
They look bad, and Vince Neil looks worse.
He looks pretty bad.
Whoo.
He doesn't even. He can't even like.
Where is Steve?
He's singing about Hogwarts or some shit. Like he's not even saying real words anymore.
That hurt.
Better to have a spit take than swallow that carbonation
God.
directly.
Yeah.
No, that was me trying to sing like Vince Neil,
Yeah.
and it almost killed
Yeah.
me.
Jay, plug someone else for the fun
God
of it.
damn, are we not done yet? Jesus,
Okay.
have we?
Wait, let me look up Buck Cherry real
Got
quick.
like 14 other podcasts.
Keep going.
Why do you
Hurry
have
the
so
fuck
many
up.
fucking friends?
The completed podcast.
There you go.
Christopher Vega,
Faster.
Brandon Scott Tanner, Brandon Smith. They talk
There,
about
if you
magic,
want something to
competitive
do, do
magic,
it yourself,
Outback Steakhouse.
Ethan.
Mechanob Gaming, come down here. They have posters and shit.
Yeah.
Come down here. You sounded like a fucking hostage.
Please come down here.
We've wasted enough time. Now it's on you to
Jody
be
has
faster.
fearology. He talks about horror movies.
Now,
I heard you say horror movies, and I am not fucking editing that out.
McNarbs. Now they just have randomly wrapped presents, and you and it's a
Buy
and
your
it's,
Christmas gifts.
They
you
didn't
don't
even
know what
bother
you're getting.
moving some of them after they wrapped them. If you remember what that box is, it's still there.
They wrapped it right there.
They wrapped
you
it.
want to pay money
Make
and
you
not
fucking
know
deal.
what game you're getting? Come to McNarbs.
That's a true story. Welcome to last stage capitalism, ladies and gentlemen. You don't know what you're
They
buying.
have one set of
Buy
Lorcana.
it!
They have one set of Lorcana for MSRP. The other one, nope.
Thanks for listening this year. I've been Jody Kite.
I've been Ethan Skinner.
You're the one. You got to end it.
You're the one that ends it. What the
I'm
fuck?
going to end it. But
Okay. Okay.
So
Did you-
Jesus Christ.
The order, you want to go or me?
Let's rock paper scissors for it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Rock.
Rock.
Oh, on shoot. On shoot. Okay.
Yeah, on shoot.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay, I win.
Okay,
All
you
right.
can
I'm
go.
James McCarthy.
I'm Brady Davis.
everyone, thank you for listening to us. This has been an amazing year, and hopefully we can bring you.
Let's
much
hope that you listen next year. I don't know about this
hopefully we
shit
can-
show.
Hopefully we can get, continue having your loyalty. And,
I thought you were like, hopefully I can get over these rickets that I got.
And he's been Ethan Skinner.
I've been Ethan Skinner.
Yeah.
Everyone, thank you for listening to us. Happy
We'll see
holidays.
you next year,
Happy
We
guys.
haven't
New
been
Year's.
doing this for 2 fucking years.
Thanks for stopping by and enjoying the ride. Ethan, do the thing.
Enjoy
Yeah.
the bat.